I think that allowing for the book being, after all, a parody, something like 1984 could actually happen. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Wednesday. This is Breaking the Narrative, and tonight my guest is Valiant Renegade. Everybody, welcome Valiant. Hello.
Good to see you.
Hi,
good to see
how
everybody
are
out
you?
there. Thank you all for joining us.
Yes, everybody, please smash the like, share the stream. I'm pretty sure that my channel has been shadow banned, so make sure you are doing all that stuff for the algorithm and all your favorite YouTubers. If you're watching anybody's channel at any point, if you just smash the like and share the video or the stream, it really helps all of us. So please do that. Thank you so much. And without further ado, though, let's get into the show and get into your intro, Valiant, because this is the first time you're here. And I've always really enjoyed your analysis, but also mostly your voice, because I feel like you have this amazing Southern accent, but also just like this really deep radio voice that I love. So please tell everyone who you are, what you do on YouTube, all the good stuff.
Well, yeah, I know. We've known each other for quite some time, really, since my early days on YouTube about, where are we at? Maybe 16, 17 months ago now. I've kind of lost count.
It's been like, almost 2 years. It's been a little bit over 2 years for me. So yeah, around that time.
Yeah, I started, I think, February 1st of last year of 2021. But I had been floating around YouTube for a while, watching everybody, and just decided to jump in. But yeah, you can find me over at Valiant Renegade. I'm sure the link's in the description, so I don't need to go through that. And probably a lot of the people in this chat have seen me around before, because I know we probably share a decent bit of the same audience out there. But yeah, it's great. You know, folks like you, YouTubers like you, were some of the folks that inspired me to get on, come in here and have some fun on YouTube. But what I like to do on mine, I was trying to find a niche. And at first, when I got on, you know, all the Gina Carano stuff was exploding. That was like right after I got on YouTube, like 2 weeks after I got on YouTube, all that stuff started.
Oh.
But one of the things that I had really gravitated into was I've always liked doing numbers and stuff like this. You know, my 20-year history in the financial industry kind of puts me into that gamut. And I always like talking about movies and Hollywood stuff. That's always been a passion of mine. So I just kind of put the two together. So the motto of the channel has always been, you know, putting Hollywood through the business and financial lens of reality. So, you know, I like to talk about the box office, the inner business workings of Hollywood from a financial side, from a business side. So I cover a lot of box office stuff. I cover a lot of, you know, things of that nature. Disney has obviously been in the forefront the last several months with everything going on, a lot of the business machinations that have happened, you know, most recently with Bob Chapek's contract renewal. Before that, you had Peter Rice getting fired. Then you had all the crazy stuff back in March with the Florida House Bill 1557. I had some friends on to the channel to discuss that. People like Legal Mindset. I'm on his channel every now and again. He comes on mine.
I love it. He's great.
Yeah, talking about that kind of stuff with Disney in the last couple of months. And then more recently, the notorious WDW Pro from that Park Place, who has bounced around the internet for a few years and has made quite a name for himself as a Disney analyst. He's been coming on the channel a lot lately. We struck up a really great friendship and seem to be working pretty well together. So
nice.
That's been fun. And we love to kind of tear apart what's going on from the business side, because both he and I come from the more business background, which, there's a lot of great YouTubers out there that love to do the social commentary and the news commentary, and I'm like, there's so many other people out there doing that. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But y'all do it really well, and I'm like, I didn't want to duplicate that. I'm like, let me go find something a little bit different. So we like to kind of dive into the more business side.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because there's so many people like you that already do this stuff so well that I didn't want to. I was like, I don't want to recreate the wheel. There's enough good YouTubers out there already kind of on that angle. So, but this is fun. This is why I thought it'd be great. You and I come talk together for the first time and finally get a chance to do this together, which is a lot of fun because you've been a good friend and looking forward to this.
Well, and it's cool because Valiant, like you said, you kind of started out like me, like, because I started out in the chats too. So like, I remember you in the Midnight's Edge chat.
Yep.
You were always kind of like very nice and, complimenting the ladies of Toxic Femme and everything like that. And we get a lot of hate. So it's always nice to see somebody
I don't know why.
I know, right?
Legitimately, I really don't. I mean, just I don't like your opinions, and you should think differently because you have lady parts.
Well, like, that's just the way it is on the internet. I wouldn't even say on YouTube. It's like pick your whatever platform. It's always like that. I mean, like right now, somebody's calling me racist because of that whole Sam Wilson is Captain America, or Steve Rogers is Captain America thing.
I know.
And I'm like, whatever. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. But
Steve Rogers was Captain America for the last 13 years in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and now it's a crime to refer to him as Captain America?
Yeah, and it's just like insane.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. It's insane, and it's usually like it's with all parts of the internet too. Like it's like you can't really get away from it at this point. And the Bugle Daily always cracks me up with his Rippaverse is greater than Spider-Verse comment there. But I feel like that's just the way our world is. And that's why I decided to make this show, Breaking the Narrative. And I want to break narratives that have to do with certain things we're told. Like, for example, if we're told, how Thor is doing so well at the box office. And then, you hear, is it really doing that well? Because, you hear the mainstream guys coming out and defending all these properties and defending all these different things. And you're like, but that's not what it's like on the ground. Like when I go to the theater or something, I don't see that many people in the theater. Or when I go on the internet to read the reviews, everyone's talking about how bad the movie is. So why would it be making this much money if nobody's watching it? And there's just so many different things. So that's why it's really cool to have you on so we can break some of these narratives together. But I also, like you said, do political stuff here on this specific show. And also on Infinite Talk that I hang out with on John Talks. So like, for this show, we're going to do a little bit of politics, but we're also going to do a lot of entertainment stuff. But first things first, I want to get into something that I saw today that is making a comeback, everybody. Get set and ready for the next pandemic, because it's happening. It's coming. Because the WHO demands the return of COVID masks, and all that good stuff. Today, I saw Fauci for the first time in months. Then you had here Dr. Tedros said that the coronavirus pandemic was nowhere near over. And with cases of COVID-19 trending upward globally, he recommended that, he said the virus is running freely and countries are not effectively managing the disease, with the WHO concluding last week that the virus remains a public health emergency of international concern. Tedros has asserted that the pandemic was nowhere near over. And before we get into that, actually, let me give my legal spiel here. Mama YouTube, all of these things that I'm going to say, unless I'm reading the screen, is my opinion and my guest's opinion. We're not medical doctors. We don't have an opinion about whether you should do anything or you shouldn't do anything. We just have an opinion about the right to do whatever it is you want to do or not to do. That's all. We're just sharing our opinions. And I think that these people are a bunch of crooks. That's my opinion about it. I think that it's just gone crazy, and I feel like I really, really hope that that people aren't going to listen to this again, and they're not going to let this happen again. He went on to say that he called on the national authorities to set up their efforts and community risk and on public, and called for the return of public health social measures like masking, distancing, and ventilation. And I feel like this is all just a setup for the next lockdown or whatever you want to call it to come back. What do you think of this dude and the return of the COVIDs?
Well, for the sake of the YouTube algorithms, I guess I'll say this much, that before early 2020, very few people, at least here in the U.S., I can tell you, really knew or understood what the WHO, the World Health Organization, and not the rock band that did Pinball, with Tommy. Very few people knew who they were. Now a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. And I suspect, based on, we'll call it anecdotal evidence for the sake of YouTube algorithms, that I think most people around here probably trust what the WHO has to say about as much as a flaming bag of dog crap. Just my opinion.
I think you're right, and a lot of countries feel that way. I feel like, especially African countries, who are like basically like, get out.
I think based at this point, and again, my personal opinion from an analytical perspective, based on the numbers and the reality of what places like the WHO have reported, what the CDC has reported. Obviously, I mean, this thing that we have dealt with for the last couple of years at this point certainly had some very devastating impacts to certain folks, no doubt. Mm-hmm. However, the question has been since, obviously, was the response initially, based on what we now know to have been estimates that were wildly out of kilter with what reality turned out to be. And that's fact, right? Mm-hmm. We know what the survival rates are, we know what this was and all that, and it's just what was projected versus what actually happened were orders of magnitude apart from one another. So I don't think that most folks out there at this point would be as easily cajoled into going along with another quote unquote lockdown. Mm-hmm. I think you'd have a problem trying to enforce that in many, if not most, places in the U.S. at this point.
Well, especially in the U.S., I'm not sure if I would agree based on some of the stuff like in Mexico or in Canada or in other places like that. Mm-hmm. I feel like they still have a very big hold on a lot of places.
Well, we've seen what places like Canada and Australia do to people that dissent.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the same can be said about a lot of places in the States as well, in terms of, like, let's say if you're a blue state, like if you're California, like I have no doubt that indoor mask mandates will return in California probably very soon. If it hasn't happened yet, I wouldn't be surprised. But it's just like those kind of things, like, and you don't want to see it. I don't want to see it happening again, but I think like it is. And I want to try and talk about it and make sure that people know that these are the people who you're listening to. Now, I'm not really going to shame this guy for this. Okay, maybe I'm going to shame him a little bit, but this is the guy you're listening to, you guys, just so you know. You know, I mean, I just feel like it's weird when we're listening to people who are very weird people.
Wait, what am I watching?
I don't know. It's this dude. This was like a candid cam thing. It's the same dude that's the leader of the Who, and he's just hanging out. He's
Where
just
did that
hanging
come
out.
from? I haven't seen that. I don't know if that really looks like him, or if that's. Is that really?
Supposedly it's him.
Interesting.
This is the dude that's making your policies. I just want to let people know that.
Okay.
This guy was saying, I heard this from the Who dancing. He was being purged from the web. I wonder why.
I wonder how is that a lot of older images. Just, I guess maybe it could be. I don't know. I always fear the internet these days with.
It could be fake. It could be fake.
Kind of
it's
parodying.
Possible.
I get it because the guy dancing kind of looks like him, but there's
looks like him.
I'm catching some differences there that makes me think maybe it's just kind of a joke. But look, here's the thing. That aside, that video aside, let's be clear. The guy running the Who, you got to remember, he is like a lot of these folks. He's a politician.
He is.
He's not a physician. I mean, he might be a physician by educational decree, but when you spend 20, 30, 40 years working in what amounts to, it is basically a governmental agency, a wing of the United Nations, you're getting funded by a lot of foreign countries to do and say, effectively, they can. One could say that they might be able to buy the science. How about that?
Ooh, I like that. And that's true. Let me show you this, because this is because you said buy it, and I love this clip of Justin Trudeau saying this.
You sometimes hear about liberal bias in the media these days, how they're constantly letting our government off the hook for no good reason. Frankly, I think that's insulting. It's clear that they let us off the hook for a very good reason, because we paid them $600 million. You don't get stellar headlines like these without greasing the wheels a bit.
It's not funny.
Wonder what he was reading. But yeah, look, one could make the argument that that's correct.
Yeah.
Regardless of the context in which he was speaking, that there's always been some question there. And of course, we have history is replete with examples of governments and nations doing exactly that, and still to this day, in certain Pacific area, large nations that lack freedom. And moving on.
Yeah, and moving on to this super chat here from 200 Watt Studios for $2 says, turtle tickles and teases for you, Nina. Well, thank you so much, 200 Watt Studios, right back at you. And also 200 Watt Studios for $5 says, I was at the eye doctor yesterday getting new lenses. Suddenly, the technician slipped and fell into the lens grinder. He made a spectacle of himself. Oh, my God.
Ba-dum-bum.
I was totally like, whoa, oh, my God. And then, okay, that was a dad joke.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Jason says, so what caused the opinion change since the last Real BBC? I'm not sure what you're referring to. So if you want to clarify which opinion you're talking about, My opinion changes on a daily basis depending on what info I've read that day, or what's going on in general. So sometimes I'll have an opinion and then maybe it'll change 15 minutes later. Who knows? Because I think we have the right to change our opinions.
It happens. It's based on, and depending, and again, we don't know, but please go ahead. Feel free to elaborate in the chat and kind of fill. Well, I say fill us in, but I wasn't there. I'm assuming you're talking about Nina because I'm not on Real BBC.
Yeah, it's talking about me.
Yeah. So my point is that I change, and I know we'll get into this in a minute, but it's a good example. Like right now, I feel like Thor 4, and I've made public statements on Twitter to this effect, is going to struggle very much to reach its break-even mark because of certain financial metrics. But that's based on the first 5 days and data that I've observed from past MCU films. Now, that opinion might change by this time next week based on its performance that has yet to happen in the second weekend that we're about to get to. So maybe that's what Jason is out there talking about, is maybe there's some sometimes new information comes. We make statements and opinions based on the best information we have available at the time, but as often does happen, information can change.
Yeah, it changes for me all the time. I mean, especially when it was about COVID too. Like, I felt like my opinion changed every day. Like, especially at the beginning. Like, I think we all went through the phase of being freaked out, like, being like, oh my God, what is happening? Especially like the first week or whatever. But then as information started to trickle in, as like everything started to kind of fall into pieces, the pieces started falling into place. We were all like, okay, maybe not all is not as it seems. And for example, like today I came across this article by happenstance. And I don't even know if I can get into this on this platform. But the title alone says toxicology versus virology, Rockefeller Institute and the criminal polio fraud. And this article is mental. Like, I was like reading like how much of it equates to like what is going on right now is actually astonishing. And I can't, like, again, I don't even know if I can go through this article because
I'm not familiar with the website of the author, so I couldn't really comment to the veracity of what's being posited
Eastern
here.
Outlook. Yeah, I go to a lot of different places for my information. So it's just fascinating read though. And maybe we'll get into it a little bit later on because I really do want to get into the whole Thor stuff with you while I have you here. But yeah, if you guys are interested in this, and I can't even share links anymore because of what happened with me being flagged on YouTube for sharing links. So if you guys are interested, this is the headline. Put this headline in Google and you'll read this article and see what I'm talking about.
You got flagged on YouTube. I didn't mean to interrupt because I'm genuinely curious because that's interesting. You got flagged on YouTube for sharing links, in your own show, on your own chat?
It wasn't in my chat. It was in my description, and it was for Infinite Hope of all shows.
That big old false flagging maniacal craziness that you had last week.
Yes.
Like
yes.
somebody false flagged like 20 freaking episodes of
like
I
10
saw that.
episodes
Or
of
something. It was something
Infinite
ridiculous.
Hope. Yeah. And it was all because of the links in the description because I tried to source all my like whatever I find. And just so if people can't catch the show that they can go and be like, hey, like, here's an article that I heard about or whatever, because I just want to spread good news and just spread kindness to people. And somehow somebody thought that was not good.
I mean, unless you were threatening violence or having some kind of, outright copyright violation. And this is the problem with all of these social media platforms from a legal standpoint. And I'm not an attorney, but I can tell you what, working as a financial advisor and financial planner for the last 20 years, our very close first cousin or stepbrother, whatever you want to call it, is the law. Okay. This was the whole discussion for the last several years, especially when Trump was in office. The whole Section 231 excuse me, Section 231 that covered the social media platform places like Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all this kind of stuff that said, hey, look, you are immune from any type of legal liability of posts that, I mean, if somebody posts on Facebook or Twitter that they're going to go commit a criminal act, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that post is up there. Section 231 of the federal law says basically that federal statutes that you can't hold Facebook or Twitter or Google liable for that post if something bad indeed does happen, because they're just a platform. It's a public forum that people post on. The caveat, of course, to 231 is that they don't act as an editor or publisher.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when you get YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and these other social media platforms, when they go in and they start cherry picking things that we don't like this because it disagrees with what this person said, or it disagrees with what this organization said, or we don't like this because we find your statement to be a big mean tweet or whatever.
Mean tweets.
Yeah, mean tweets that, you know, you hurt somebody's fee-fees. The minute they start stepping into those boundaries, according to Section 231, they would no longer have the protections under that legal statute, because they are now acting as editor and publisher.
Sure.
So, you know, this kind of, it always bugs me. Now, the reality is
isn't that kind of what happened with like the Hunter Biden thing? Because they like didn't.
Yes.
They like, you know,
but they didn't get punished for it. Let's face it. Twitter canceled accounts. They absolutely came in and they wiped people out. They banned Twitter users. They banned and blocked accounts because people were sharing, just for the mere issue of sharing, an article from the New York Post.
And they suspended the New York Post.
And it turned out it was all true.
Yeah. Isn't that
surprise?
So crazy? It's the most insane thing. And we're going to get into that in a little bit too. But before we do, 200 Watt Studios for 2 says, Valiant, how do you feel about treasury bonds?
Okay, so I should preface this that, you know, based on professional principles and ethics, I cannot get into financial advising on YouTube at all whatsoever. That's not what I do here. That being said, in and of themselves, a treasury bond is simply a financial instrument that is interest-bearing, issued by the United States government, specifically United States Treasury.
Did
Treasury
you just
yields.
give, like, the dictionary definition?
Yes, because that's all I can do. Treasury yields are up right now. I mean, maybe treasury bonds are right for you. Maybe they're not. It just depends on what context you're asking. I'm not sure. But if you're asking about, you know, are they right for me? Should I buy some? Seek the professional advice of a financial advisor registered
We're not
with FINRA
financial advisors, and we're not doctors.
in your state of
people.
domicile. So, like, if you know, for example, if you live in Texas, you need to go find a financial planner or financial advisor that is registered to do business in the state of Texas. That's the. I wish I could answer that. Thank you for the super chat, but I can't do it for my own professional career.
Around with lawyers for too long, my friends.
I've been in this business 20 years. I know what I got to say. Yeah. I'll put it this way. People have asked, like, hey, Valiant, will you ever do like a financial advisor, like an investment channel? I'm like, hell to the no. You have no idea. Y'all think YouTubers, like regular YouTubers, have it rough. You get on YouTube as a registered financial advisor, financial planner, and start talking about this stuff on YouTube, y'all have no clue what we have to go through. It would take me a week to get a video approved.
Wow. There you go. And Lost Lander says,
it's tough.
As someone that works in the financial advisor environment, what VR said is so accurate of a line. There you go. There you go.
That's what you got to do.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Okay, let me push this article to the back. We'll get to it if we have time and I have courage. Do we want to watch Fauci say stuff? No, we don't care about Fauci anymore. Screw that guy. Okay, so yeah, COVID is coming back. That was the news.
It's never going to go away. That's the reality.
No.
It's here. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be around for many years to come. It's going to. I mean, as long as we've had every other kind of seasonal affliction that goes around the world, be it a rhinovirus, the common cold, or a flu, or strep, or something, the coof is going to be among that breed.
I got something last week. I don't know what it was because I never got tested. I haven't been tested for COVID once, like since this whole thing started.
I had it a year ago, and I went in. I got diagnosed because I'm like, okay, I had a bit of a sniffle. It wasn't really anything, but because we had other issues going on, I have one of my staff in my office, had just had two newborn twins that had some medical issues. So I was like, we were being extra cautious because he was working in the office with us. And so I went and got tested, and it turned out that it was the coof. Literally by 6 o'clock that night, they gave me a prescription for Zithromax, which is like that antibiotic they give you to kind of help reduce some of the symptoms when you have the flu or something like that. It's an antibiotic, so it doesn't really hit a virus, but it's a symptom reducer. By 6 o'clock that night, I was chilling playing video games. I felt perfectly fine. And I had to sit home for 2 weeks, just kind of like it was the most boring vacation I've ever been on. But, I had to. I got work from home vacation.
I understand. I got sick, and I was like, I'm not doing anything. So I was just like, because I was out. Like I had a fever. It was a whole the whole thing, and I actually got the the IV drip thing, like the high concentrated vitamin C and like different stuff like that. And I was really shocked that was available. Yeah, that was available in my area. So I was like, oh, and they came to my house and they did it, and it was really good. And then my husband and I started watching DS9 because I was like, I need something to watch that doesn't make me depressed, and I don't want to kill myself. So
I think I've had physicians tell me that, and nurse practitioners. And I mean, if you have if your body's vitamin levels, according to the doctors that I've had these discussions with, it's not me saying this. If your vitamin levels are in the proper ranges, especially with things like vitamin C, vitamin D, that has huge impacts on your immune system, you're going to catch stuff all the time and never know it.
Yep. I mean, you have stuff
because
all the
your
time.
body, your body's going to pound it out. Now, if you have severe deficiencies in things like vitamin C or vitamin D, then you're going to catch the same things, and they're going to pound you way harder.
Yeah,
because your body's your immune system just doesn't have the biomolecular gasoline to fight it off, and those vitamins. So I mean, I've tried for years to at least, and I'm not sitting here saying that I take a whole bunch of multivitamins, but I mean, I take like a multivitamin once a day or something like that. I'm like, just keep my vitamin C. Hey, I know flu season is coming up, so I try to get in the habit of taking my vitamin C tab every morning.
My problem too was that I did a few things that went against my immune system in a row. So it was kind of like my own fault. Like I went partying, I partied really, really hard, and I don't usually drink alcohol, and I drank. So I had a hangover, and then I didn't eat proper food the next day, and I didn't get good enough rest, and I overworked myself, and because I was working on that Ezra Miller video, and then I overworked myself, didn't sleep, didn't get rest, and then all of a sudden that night, bam, I was out.
Your body was just like a bullseye target. Was that the night you came on? Because I couldn't hear you.
Yes,
everything.
It was.
Was that the night that it came on your live on my 10,000 live stream?
Yes, literally the next day, Valiant.
Because you told me you're like, I'm so tired. I stayed up so late, and then I saw you pop in backstage, and you're like, hey. I was like, oh man, she's gone.
The next day, I was like fever, like the whole 9 yards. I was like, no. By the way, earlier you said something. You said pound you harder, and I was like, that's what she said.
All right, Michael Scott.
But I didn't have time to get the clip. So here it is now.
Jim? No, thanks. I'm good.
That's what she said.
Mom?
My mother's coming.
That's what she said. No.
Okay.
God.
I had to do that. Okay, so let's start talking about some stuff, because one thing that I really want to talk about is today I feel like it's been one of those days where I keep seeing like the mainstream media, Disney, all these people get just L's. Like there's just L's being handed out left and right. And then of course Ripaverse is winning though. Like so it's just like all these L's are being handed out to like the mainstream people, and then we're winning. So I'm like, yes, this is like, I always love seeing this kind of stuff. But one of the L's that was handed out, and I mean, I woke up to this and I thought it was so funny, was this post by Hasbro saying, unfortunately, the Star Wars, the Black Series Reba, the third sister Force FX Elite lightsaber, did not reach the minimum backing goal, needing to move into development. Thank you all of the fans who supported this project and every fan who shared their passion and enthusiasm. It wasn't much. They turned off the replies.
Of course they did.
We learned lessons with every Hasbro project and continue taking additional fan feedback as we progress. With so many galactic possibilities out there, we look forward to bringing you new Star Wars HasLab concepts in the future. The interesting part, though, is that like a lot of the comments, including my own, has been under the impression that, you know, maybe you should stop calling your fans racists. Like, you know, like it's just, oh, and that's Literature Devil. I'm gonna have him on this show. Probably, I think it's next week. But yeah, so like a lot of these replies are like, you know, maybe Disney shouldn't have called their fans racist. You know, I don't know about this. What do you?
I don't even know if it was really that. It's just so much the fact that nobody gave a rat's rear end about that character. I hate to say it, but let's be honest. And if you don't believe me, there's the proof.
Oh my God.
That's it. You're telling me that, I mean, we're not talking about like a fly-by-night random third-party toy maker here.
No,
we're talking about
not.
freaking Hasbro. And Hasbro and their HasLab line, this is by far and away nowhere close to the first rodeo they've been in with this type of crowdfunding for a new toy. They have done this with Star Wars, with all kinds of stuff over the last couple of years. And the vast majority, if not 90-something% of the stuff that they put out, because they're not going in there. This is Hasbro, right? They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They know exactly what is going to sell. So they take those things and they say, let's do a test, right? We're going to do a crowdfund, not really crowdfunding, but like pre-sales.
Pre-sales,
Sign up, right? Just like Ripaverse. Like you mentioned
I was just going to say, isn't that what Ripaverse did? That's
exactly what. You're right. So Eric July goes out there, launches his first comic book, and bang, $1 million. I mean, he had it was like 10,000 people buy the $50 signed edition of the comic. I was one of them. So that's just it. This thing, which is a $150 million, $200 probably $million Disney production for Disney Plus, with this new character, with her snazzy new lightsaber, that's in a show with frickin' Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi again, and Hayden Christensen, at least for 2 minutes, as Anakin Skywalker. The rest were all stunt doubles. The guy in the Darth Vader costume the whole time was not Hayden Christensen, y'all. So it was 3 stunt doubles.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, no. The only time Hayden Christensen was in there when you actually saw his face. Everything else was stunt doubles. In fact, one of them was complaining because Disney brought him back for a bunch of reshoots that he never really got paid for. But that's another story. Yep, sucks. But here you go. So this is it, and they introduced this new character from out of nowhere, and 1,400 people sign up to buy a Star Wars lightsaber, which is, I mean, they should have hit. I don't remember how long that was, but I think it ran for 30 days or whatever, and they couldn't even get They couldn't find 5,000 people to sign up for that, for an official Disney Star Wars branded made by Hasbro, not a little nothing company out there. Hasbro, one of the two big ones with them and Mattel, couldn't get it done.
And it's, you know, what's so crazy is I still wonder though, if what said on Toxic Femme is accurate, that if they had marketed it not as Reva's lightsaber, but as like an Inquisitor lightsaber, if it had sold more or if it would have been funded. But I feel like everybody really hated that character, and also Disney's response to their lack of interest for the character. So that in itself, I think again, it's just like a combination of things, that like all these things that just went wrong, and then they're like, nah, what, like people are like, we're not funding you. Like that's
you make a very good point there. And that's entirely possible, that had they tagged it as the Inquisitor as opposed to Reva's, then there might have been a broader, because how many people are searching Reva? Right. But everybody, people know, the diehard fans of Star Wars, they all know who Star Wars Inquisitors are. They know that, they know that character genre, right?
Yeah.
This is the issue. And this goes to prove the point that Disney has lost a great deal of the most avid and ergo the most financially viable Star Wars audience that exists out there. And that is this. Things like this, like the black editions, which are the high-end editions of the toys and the merchandise. You know, like if you can buy a Luke Skywalker action figure, right? Or you can buy the black edition, or you can buy a Luke Skywalker lightsaber for $25 at Kmart or Walmart or whatever the hell's still out there. You can buy the black edition, which I have one, the Luke Skywalker ROJ lightsaber for like $150, $175.
Ooh.
It's much nicer. Like it
this
looks,
one was like $500.
This is the point. The people buying this stuff, looking for this stuff, the people that are buying the Star Wars HasLab toys that don't have Reva in it, okay, they sell. The people buying those are the hardcore, old school Star Wars fandom, by and large. By and large. The fact that this thing couldn't break 1,400, whatever, 1,500, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was like 1,500
pre-sales tells you just how bad that they have damaged the brand with this
Their
new
IP.
stuff.
Yeah.
Right? The only thing that's selling, and here, I'll spoil something for you. I was going to talk about this in another video. I was waiting for the Disney quarterly earnings report, which is going to be on August 10th. I may live stream for this. One of the things that was stated last quarter in the Disney report, and I have not discussed this anywhere yet because I'll give it to you here. One of the things that Disney discussed in that quarterly report, it's in black and white, actually in the public filing for the quarterly report, was their merchandise sales, and they brought up several things in there. But and every time, you know, when they talk about operating income and operating expenses or operating losses, and they come up with a final, you know, figure, they always make statements of qualification going both ways. Hey, we had more revenue due to this, and we had higher expenses due to that than normal. And they kind of explain, at least at high-level terms, what it was. One of the things they talked about in the merchandise section of the financial report breakdown was that they had a better than expected yield that quarter. One of the 3 or maybe 4 things they mentioned, and I want you to think, when I say 3 or 4 things, we're talking about Disney. We're talking about dozens, if not hundreds, of different line items of types of merchandise and brands that they put out there. One of the things they mentioned, the 3 or 4 they mentioned, was not Star Wars, classic Star Wars. Classic, meaning not the stuff that Disney made.
Right.
Old school, classic, pre-Disney Star Wars. Real Lucasfilm Star Wars. That was a specific line item that they highlighted in the financial report as one of the reasons that merchandise sales had exceeded previous quarters. I mean, we're not talking about by $1 billion here, but the point is that they brought it up. You know,
like stuff like this, like the old school.
Yep.
Okay.
Classic Star Wars.
Right.
Meaning like not Rey.
Right.
Not Reva.
Chewie, all
now,
the
now again, by
classic.
that point, just to be clear, this was the report that reflected the second fiscal quarter of 2022, which for Disney is January 1st through March 30th. Just so everybody out there understands, the Walt Disney Company's fiscal year runs from October 1st to September 30th. So, for example, 2023 fiscally for Disney will begin in a couple of months on October 1st. So this was the second fiscal quarter, first calendar quarter, is the report I'm talking about. The one that ended on March 30th or March 31st, whatever that last day in March was, March 31st. So in that quarter, they were citing classic Star Wars toys as a primary driver of why they had overperformed in certain areas of merchandise sales.
Oh.
And because, like I said, the fact they had the word classic in there jumped out at me.
Wow.
Because I'm like, they didn't just say Star Wars. It's classic Star Wars. I'm like,
classic Star
well,
Wars.
that's telling.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Real quick, Matt G, thank you so much for the $1. I thought this comment was hilarious. A Big Chunga says, we want feedback, but turns off the replies. That's really interesting. I didn't even think about it, but that's true because they were like, please give us feedback. And then they turn off the replies. Like, how is that even supposed to work? Like, what kind of feedback do you want? That's clearly a lie.
Hit the like button or the share button. That's the feedback they want.
They
Nothing
didn't
else.
want any feedback, like, because
Yeah.
I mean, that's just hilarious. And also, just I'm going to take a moment here and highlight this comment from Curtis D. Curtis says at 7 a.m. he's I'll be in, or if you're going to say, please pray for me. Okay, so please everybody say a prayer for Curtis because he's going in for an insane medical procedure. Very soon. He had an insanely bad accident where he basically his spine has been basically crushed. I can't even explain what he's going through accurately enough, but it's just a terrifying ordeal. And so him and his wife could use all the prayers that they can get. So if you're into praying, please keep Curtis.
Yeah, God bless you, sir. But prayers are with you, buddy. I mean, that's
definitely.
Hope it all goes well. I mean, I know those kind of spinal surgeries can be. It's usually not just one. It's usually a series of it. It's a long haul. That's rough, man. Sorry.
Yeah, he told me he's going to be in medical journals because he's going to be doing like some insane surgery that no one's done before, and
Yeah, there's almost never just one back surgery.
It's just terrifying. My heart is with you. My prayers are with you and your family. You're in my thoughts, buddy. Okay, so moving on. We're gonna go into like a little bit of the Thor stuff now, because we talked Star Wars. I still have some Biden stuff I want to talk about, but we'll talk about that after Thor. I'll keep it with the Hunter Biden stuff. Let's see here. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay. Starting off with Thor. First of all, did you see it?
Yes.
You did? What did you think?
I saw it. Thank God I didn't waste time in a theater, and I'll leave it there.
I saw it too, and I didn't waste time in a theater. Dude, I'm so glad that I didn't go to the theater for this because this was just god awful. Like there was just so many problems with it. Okay, tell me what was your favorite moment in the movie, but also your least favorite moment, like the moment where you were like, I cannot believe, like you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is a movie. Like what has Marvel come to? Tell me both of those.
It was a culmination of things. I mean, the movie was much like Doctor Strange in the sense that narratively it was just a chaotic mess of hell. I think I said this before the movie came out, and I don't remember where. It might have been like on Midnight's Edge or After Dark or something like that. But I made the comment. I kind of have a feeling that what's going to happen with Taika Waititi, which I love some of the stuff he does when it's in the right vein, when it's in the right like. I watched Free Guy again the other night. Mrs. Renegade had never seen it, and I'm laughing my butt off. I love Taika Waititi in that movie, but. He's supposed to be like off the wall, over the top, goofy and the character works great for what he's supposed to do. But he didn't write it, he didn't direct it, all that kind of stuff. But I had a feeling what was going to happen was all of the praise of Ragnarok, which I thought was okay. I wasn't like, I've watched Ragnarok once in the theater, and I watched it again once I got it on, physical media. And that's it. I'm just done with it. And, oh, good. Please do, man. And good luck tomorrow. What I was afraid of was that Taika was going to take all that, the humor that he injected into Thor 3, Thor Ragnarok, and then stomp on the gas pedal. And I think my exact words were, before the movie came out, I have a feeling that he is going to take this and go full Top Gun Maverick Dark Star, Mach 10, with the comedy and the zaniness in this film.
Sure.
And for those of you who haven't seen Top Gun Maverick, hopefully everybody has. It just crossed 600 million.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh God! All right, so there's a scene in there. Okay, so let me clarify.
You can spoil it. It's okay. You can spoil it.
No, it's not going to spoil
watch
it.
At some
This
point.
is right in the beginning of the movie. The Dark Star is a high-end military plane that Tom Cruise is test piloting. Maverick is test piloting.
Okay.
And the whole point of the Dark Star is to break Mach 10. So when I say with Taika Waititi I made the joke, he went Dark Star from Top Gun Maverick, he took the zaniness from Ragnarok, stomped the gas, and went Mach 10 with it in this new movie. And it's exactly what wound up happening. And there wasn't a single moment in this film that was allowed to breathe, allowed to be serious. Oh, Jane Foster dying of cancer. Sure didn't look like stage 4 cancer.
It's a funny joke.
That was the healthiest stage 4 cancer patient I've ever seen in my flipping life, and nothing was really serious about it. It's like my dad died of cancer. It was like
I'm sorry.
No. I'm not saying it for that. My point is,
I've
been around it.
Terrible.
I've been around it, and I know what it looks like. That wasn't it. And there was just no room for anything. Everything was a joke. Every scene was a joke. And I got to the point I'm forcing myself to sit through it and watch it. And I just didn't care. The best part of the movie was when the end credits rolled. Thank God this is over. Cause this was
It was
garbage.
painful. It was painful to
was.
watch, especially if you like old
It's
school
content.
MCU.
The best professional review, and I can't remember who it came from. I think it might have been the Seattle Times, which is one of the top critics on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not a Marvel movie. It's just Marvel content, was the quote. I'm like, that is exactly right.
That's actually right.
This is just fart out some filler, and people are going to show up, and they do.
Yeah.
And they show up and they buy tickets in greater numbers on average than another average film. But at the end of the day, this is still a film like most of these Marvel films where Disney is spending $300 to $400 million to produce and market, which that's the problem right now.
Okay, so do we believe that it's it's making this much money and that it's going to make more? So we have this from Deadline that says Thor Love and Thunder heading to 200 million plus as counter programming Paws of Fury. Crawdad. I haven't heard of any of these, by the way. I don't know what these movies are.
Okay, so Paws of
box
Fury, The
office
Legend
review.
of Hank is coming out. It's either this weekend or next weekend, and then you've got the DC Super Pets, which is coming out, which actually looks
That actually looks cute.
I think that's going to be probably more popular than people are giving it credit for, because it looks like a movie that a lot of kids like. When I went to go see Minions last weekend with Renegade Jr., who's 11 years old, it's like he's seen the Paws of Fury trailer a couple times because we went to go see Top Gun Maverick. He's seen it twice with me. I've seen it 4 times altogether.
Okay, so Paws of Fury is that superhero dog movie thing?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
It's okay. What it is, it's basically kind of a semi-rift on Blazing Saddles, which is why Mel Brooks is involved. Tom had mentioned that to me. I didn't put 2 and 2 together, and then I started looking at him like, he's
that's
right.
interesting. I didn't know that.
Now,
Shout out to Tom from Midnight's Edge, by the way.
Yeah, it's basically Hank the dog is kind of like the sheriff character, the Bart character that was played by Cleavon Little in the original film. Now, of course, they don't have all the racial stuff involved that made the first one so funny because the white people were so stupid and they got a black sheriff and they had to to go through all this kind of stuff. None of that's in this movie. But the idea is that they all think he's incompetent. He can't be the samurai that saves them, and he has to prove to everybody that he can do it. It's in that vein. That's why they had the big fart scene at the camp with eating beans and all this, just like right out of Blazing Saddles.
Okay.
So,
yeah, it's funny because I watched.
look at the
trailer.
cast. You got Sam Jackson in there. You got Mel Brooks. You got oh my God, there's like I remember I can't even think of the names, but I mean it looks like it could be a fun movie, and this is one of those things that I think long term will get good play and residuals after the box office if they put it out there correctly.
Yeah, because I watched the trailer and I'm not a fan anymore of like Pixar style. Like I don't like the 3D look, like the stuff like this. I'm just not a fan of like that style. So like I saw the trailer for it and I was like, oh, like another one, like rolling my eyes, like kind of like, oh God, I can't stand this this movie, this style. And then I watched the trailer and I was like kind of like laughing throughout the trailer and I was like, this has a really good script. Like I don't know what's going on, but for that 2 minutes, it completely changed my mind. Like I was like, I would actually watch this movie. I don't have any kids. So I was like, this is actually really funny. All the lines kind of like hit right like on the note, like the right note and everything. So I was like, this is actually really funny. And it's kind of surprising that it would be this funny in this day and age. And you wouldn't think that it would be that funny with that kind of like plot. Like, I don't know if you know what I'm saying. And it kind of works. So I don't know. I think it might do well. I think it might do
for
really
young
well.
audiences, for stuff like this, you just need to have a movie where a trailer is entertaining, it's funny, it gets people in the door, and it's something that parents feel like, okay, it's going to have a fart joke in it, but if that's the worst thing I have to worry about, that's fine. You know?
Yeah, like it's the
and you bring and they'll enjoy it
in the movie.
Right.
Like,
now, if parents bring it there, I don't know if I've really seen yet. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real quick. I don't know if I've seen anything to where the production budget was, but I mean, Minions, for example, The Rise of Gru. $80 million production budget.
Ooh.
Lightyear, 200.
Dude, Lightyear lost so much money. Like
I said it before it opened. I said the weekend it opened. I looked at it and I said, that's it. It's done. It's over. Disney loses $150 million on this movie, and that is exactly what's happening. It might actually be higher.
Valiant, when stuff like that happens, this is why I love having you here for this conversation. When stuff like that happens, what goes through the minds of people like Bob Chapek and like, the CEOs, like the big honchos that are like, we've invested this much money in this movie. We're expecting this much return. We have fucking Chris Evans, one of the wokest, one of the most like amazing people out there with the social credit score on top of Mount freaking Rushmore or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's just, they're doing all the right things and then the movie loses money. What do these people think? What do they do? Where do you go from here when you have such a big loss?
Okay, well, there's not one good answer to that. So in the case of, I mean, if you just take the average run-of-the-mill Hollywood studio, right? It's bad. It's like, what did we do? Where did this go wrong? What did we screw up with? How did we misread the room this badly? Because for something like Paramount, or for, to a lesser extent, well, now that Warner Brothers has spun off, it's in a different place now that it's with Discovery. But you have Warner Brothers and all this. When a big production budget like that fails, that's a big hit, right? Because that's your mainstay of business. What people have to understand about the Walt Disney Company is that the Walt Disney Company is not a movie studio. It is a theme park operator first and foremost that has a movie studio or has 6 movie studios. Okay, when we talk about revenues, right? When you look at the gross revenues of the entire theatrical marketplace back in 2019, domestically and internationally, maybe throw China out, you're talking about somewhere, I think it was around 30 some odd billion globally for the theatrical marketplace. The Walt Disney Company brings in that much and more every year from the theme parks. And again, we're talking about 30 million globally, theatrically, from every movie studio out there. Everybody, not just Disney. So basically, on their cash flows, on their financial reports, the theme parks are far and away is the revenue driver. When it comes to actual programming, be it theatrical or be it broadcast, because a lot of people tend to forget, what is the biggest moneymaker behind the theme parks at Disney? I mean, take and put the merchandise up in there too. It's not the Disney Channel. Disney Plus is still losing. Last quarter, it lost $900 million. Again, last quarter. Okay, Disney Plus has never been expected to make a profit until the end of fiscal year 2024. We're still 2+ years away from that.
You think it's gonna? I know it's ways out, but you think it's gonna?
Yes, I think it will by that point because they will have a much more robust amount of content on Disney Plus. Married with the fact that they're about to launch their ad-based tiers, which I said a while back, everybody, including Netflix, and people said I was crazy, was going to go this route, and Netflix is doing it too.
Well, Hulu did it first, I think, right?
Well, Hulu has kind of always been set up like that. So is Roku and some of these others. But I mean, in terms of like dedicated streamers,
right?
Which Disney owns 70% of Hulu anyway. They're going to figure out a way to get the other. They're going to get the other 30% from Comcast. Universal at some point, probably in the next couple of years, I'd bet. But point being is that the biggest moneymaker behind the parks that Disney had, that's it. He got it. Kudos. ESPN. It is live sports. Nothing can touch. We're talking about literally tens of billions a year in gross revenues that come in from advertising from live sports. They spend billions of dollars a year on these contracts with the NFL, with the MLB, with the NBA. Yeah. This is where the money is. So Pixar spending $200 million on Lightyear that flops is definitely going to get the attention of people like Kareem Daniel, who is Bob Chapek's top lieutenant that's in charge of all distribution of content at Disney. And that's why he's there. But at the same time, as I said in a video with WDW Pro from that Park Place a couple of weeks ago when we discussed Lightyear, was that Chapek, he's never going to come out and say this publicly, but he's got to be smiling ear to ear with what happened to Lightyear. Because that's exactly...
Because he probably told everybody. Because he probably was like, fine, I'll bend the knee and I'll tell people what they want to hear, like you're telling me to. But you mark my words, this movie's gonna fucking fail. And when it does, you're gonna have to listen to me now.
And you know what the reaction was? He got renewed for 3 more years. And so, I mean, and that's the bottom line. When all this started back in March, and I did the videos on the whole Florida House bill thing, and a very small handful of complete wackos that are over at Disney that were causing all of this noise. It's always a very small portion that causes the most noise because they have sounding boards out there, like Twitter, like Facebook, like the national media, that amplify their voices far bigger than what they actually are. And Chapek, and I've been saying this since it started, Chapek's initial response to all this Florida legislative stuff was, hey, look, we have employees at Disney of all backgrounds. We love and welcome everybody here. That's fine and dandy. Disney is not a company that's going to get involved in politics. We can work behind the scenes to try to, work with legislators because all these companies have lobbyists. Let's be honest. We all know this. There's nothing new. But this is not something we're going to come out and do a public stance on all this.
That's what Michael Jordan did. Michael Jordan was like, you know what? Republicans buy shoes too. Because they tried to get him to disavow, Republicans and stuff like that.
It's a very fascist attitude.
God, that black guy that was like the best NBA player of all time. Fight me. That's right. I fucking said it. Michael Jordan's a GOAT. That guy's, I don't know. He sounds pretty racist. I don't know about that. But then again, and then you have this going on, Valiant, at the same time, right? At the same time, you have John Lasseter, who was Me Too'd, fired from Pixar. All the people that worked with him, the guy that created Toy Story, all of those people left with him because of what happened to him and because they were like, you know what?
A lot of the bigger guys, they left within 2 or 3 years or so of him leaving. Yeah, and we just
yeah.
had a few more leave in the last year. They're all at Skydance.
They're
now.
all at Skydance, and they have a movie dropping very soon on
Yes, they do.
Apple Plus. So
Skydance, by the way, just made Top Gun Maverick. If y'all didn't know,
they sure did, and they sure made a lot of money on that, didn't they, Valiant?
Yeah. Now that's not Lasseter and his crews in. Lasseter.
No.
Lasseter was brought in to run Skydance Animation.
That's right.
So,
and my point is, with this new animation that's going to be coming out, I'm very interested to see where their numbers are going to be, because they're like, Apple Plus is coming for Disney with John Lasseter and Skydance Animation. They're like, we're going to give Disney a fight. And that animation already looks really good. Like I looked at the trailer and I was like, hey, this looks really good. Like, especially for kids, like, you know, it looks like a really cute kid story that doesn't have any messages in there. It looks fun. It looks like old school, you know, Pixar. I think people are going to respond to that. I think people are going to respond. And then you were just saying about Skydance. And then this happened too. Let's bring this one up.
I was going to say, while you're doing that, just real quick, the story and the draw to the audience and the trust of the parents is worth exponentially more than the quality of the animation.
It really is.
Remember what launched Skydance 10 years ago? Skydance Animation, I should say. Remember what launched them?
What was that?
How to Train Your Dragon.
Ah, yes.
That franchise is worth
great franchise.
billions of dollars with a B. And the reason is because it's not the movies. The movies, by comparison, aren't worth squat. It's the toys that they made from that, the merchandising sales, the billions of dollars of merchandise that they've created.
They knew what they were doing.
They probably, I have to go back and look it up. The contract that Netflix just basically opened their checkbook and said, what you want to make the series for Netflix, because they probably got hundreds, $500-600 million to make those shows for Netflix, because there was several. I mean, it had to have been big money. That franchise is worth a fortune. The only one right now that's still out there that's active just came out was Minions: Rise of Gru. $6 billion in merchandise sales in the last 10 years since the first Despicable Me.
Dude, the merchandising for
$6 billion
is insane. And I
not
know
movie theaters, just the merch.
Just the merch. And I know this firsthand because I had a little nephew. He was 3 at the time, that he was obsessed with Minions. Obsessed. I have a little. I also have well, he's not little, he's actually a year older than me, but he's special needs, so it always feels like he's younger than me, but he's not. My brother-in-law loves Minions, just he has everything Minions, like Minions lunchbox, Minions freaking shirts, basketball, whatever, everything Minions. He's got it. You name it, he's got it. Because that's what they love, and that's
those $15 t-shirts add up.
They do, and the kids spill a lot. But
every time they come out with a movie, all they're looking to do with the movie, hey, if we just break even on a Minions film, that's cool, because we know it's going to reinvigorate like another $1 billion in merch sales. Yeah, on gross. So again, Disney did this years ago with Cars 3. Like, they kind of knew that when they put together Cars 3, they were like, I don't know, we don't know what it's going to do at the box office. But all they knew was the franchise, even though the movies had dwindled in popularity, they knew that even if they made, and Cars 3 was a bomb in the domestic box office. I don't remember what it did internationally, but it wasn't good. Like, Disney lost money on the movie, but the Cars franchise to that point, I think it sold something like another $5 to $7 billion in merch. So when you have properties like that, especially with kids' films, you can rely on the merch sales. The problem with Lightyear, to get back to that one, was that this was like a radically they made a whole new line of toys for this, because now Lightyear looks like totally different.
He looks totally different.
They put a live actor in the Lightyear suit in Tomorrowland at Disney. You saw that?
Oh my God. No, I didn't see that.
Like, it's not the toy, it's not the old toy. Like, they had a dude, like a face like mine, in a Lightyear suit.
Do you have like a video or like something?
It's on Twitter. It's been out there. I was all over, because that's what I saw. I was like, what the crap is this? So my point is, like, they
So,
made
like
a whole
Buzz
new line
Lightyear
of,
at Disneyland.
yeah, they made a like the live action version of, I don't know what it was called, but I remember seeing this. I'm like, oh, this is freaky. But the point is, because they're trying to change the image of it now for some bizarre
You're
reason.
right. Oh my God.
So this is not like
terrible.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So my
Let me
point is,
show
while you're
this.
bringing that up, Minions still look like Minions, right? They're still selling the same. Yes, this is stupid. This is so
This is dumb.
stupid.
Mind you, this guy's really good looking, but it's still dumb. It's dumb.
Let me ask you, if I didn't tell you that was Lightyear, would you have any flipping clue who that was?
No, I'd be like, what?
Boom.
Like, I guess that guy's an astronaut.
over.
Like, that's what I would be like. Like, what kind of
And
astronaut?
this is
are
the
you? Like, where are
point.
you
This
going?
this is the stupid that is over there right now. This Pixar. Let me tell you, people talk about Lucasfilm all the time at
Mhm.
Disney being a problem. I'm gonna tell you right now, Pixar is the rat's nest when it comes to vile poison at Disney. And that is one of the first places that's going to have to be cleaned out. And, they were right for shoving these things on Disney Plus. And they kept saying, we're talking about Pixar films like Turning Red and all this stuff recently, Luca and the other one that came out. It's the films that they're making right now suck.
Yeah.
They suck, and nobody cares about them. And they tried to ride this wave for the last 6 to 8 months of saying, well, families just aren't ready to come back to the theater because of COVID.
Because of COVID,
Because
right?
they just
Oh,
they don't want to stand up.
no.
I'm like bullshit. This is
People
the
would
biggest cry.
go.
I said, you wait. Somebody's gonna get out there and have the nuts to put out the cartoon movie first, and if it's good, if it's something that people want, it's gonna blow up.
Yep.
Sonic 2 came out, did very well. Now you got
Minions.
I was going chronologically.
Yeah,
Now you
oh,
just
right.
got Minions come out. No, that's fine. I was gonna say Minions comes out, a fully animated feature, and just $50 million for Lightyear in its opening weekend. 106 or 107 million for Minions, opening weekend 2 weeks later.
Do you know what parents love doing? Taking their kids to the mall,
Yeah.
being like, here's $15, go to the movies. I'm going to the nail salon. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, go to the Minions.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about you getting groomed and brainwashed. Just go watch Minions for 2 hours. Give me 5 minutes of free time so I can go to the mall, buy some freaking shoes, get my nails done, and call it a day. Okay? Like, this is what parents want.
I was going to see Top Gun Maverick that weekend that Lightyear came out for the third time. And
Wow. I haven't seen it once. That's embarrassing.
Well, that was the third time. I've seen it 4 now. But but no, my point is this. When because that was the weekend Lightyear came out. Well, the families are showing up. I'm like, I walked in there and I'm like, okay, this is Jurassic World's second weekend or maybe third weekend. I don't remember.
Did
Top
you watch
Gun Maverick's
that?
fourth weekend. Yeah, I went to go see that. It was all right. I mean, it was
Yeah, it's okay.
dinosaurs.
Did you
but
like
the
it better
point-
than the last one?
Fallen Kingdom was terrible for me.
Yeah, I've heard Fallen Kingdom's
it was
terrible.
just-
So did you like
yeah.
it better than that one?
I enjoyed it better than that one, if nothing else, but
Okay.
for the fact that they had the original cast kind of come back. But the point is that I went to the theater that weekend. So you had Lightyear, you had Top Gun Maverick. I know it was Father's Day weekend.
Ah,
You had Lightyear, you had Top Gun Maverick, and you had Jurassic World. All 3 of them in there that weekend.
Mm.
There were loads of families with little kids there. Guess what they were all seeing? Jurassic World and Top
Minions?
Gun.
Oh,
No, this was before Minions came out.
Before Minions. So then Jurassic World would be my guess. Because if there's kids involved, probably dinosaurs.
Yeah, but Lightyear was there. Lightyear was empty.
Old Lightyear's empty.
That's what I'm saying, is that the families were there, but probably 2/3 of the families with little kids that were coming to the theater, 1/3 of them were going into Lightyear. The other 2/3
Wow.
were going to see dinosaurs and Maverick.
And what do you want to bet? Like the percentage of people that went to Lightyear came out and their kids were like bored, didn't care, were like, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't watch it. I'm like,
Have you ever
I'm,
gone to the movies with a kid that gets bored?
oh yeah,
It's the worst. Like
Yeah.
it is absolutely
because they don't shut up the
they
whole
don't
time.
shut the f- up the whole time. It is the worst
I
experience.
got 3 kids. Trust me, I know.
You know, I only know because of my nephew and my brother-in-law. That's the only reason. If they're bored at the movies, that is a terrible, terrible time. And parents will like they'll tell other parents, "Don't take your kid to this movie. My kid
Yeah.
didn't shut up. Like my kid
Yeah,
was
word
bored."
will get around. Nobody cared about Lightyear. They spent plenty of money marketing it. The excuses that families aren't going and all this was, I mean, I could see it. I was going to the, it was just not true. It was not true. It was complete BS. But the bottom line is that, I think legitimately Disney wanted Lightyear to be the first big Pixar film back in theaters, first like children's animated feature, right? And it was clear from the beginning that all of the LGBTQ stuff in it had been completely eliminated from it. Pixar was pissed at that. They came out and publicly basically chastised Kareem Daniel, their boss, who runs all of Disney distribution. Every time that we try to put, in their words, quote unquote, overtly gay affection into our Pixar films, it gets immediately removed without any explanation or discussion by Disney executives. Well, there's only 3 people above the head of Pixar. That's Alan Bergman, who's chairman over all Disney studios, which includes Pixar, Walt Disney Animation, Lucasfilm, Marvel, Kevin Feige, Fox, and Fox Searchlight. That's it. Alan Bergman is the head hoss over all of them. Kareem Daniel is head of distribution. He gets to decide, do these things come out? And if they do, I get to decide where they go. They're going to go in a theater. They're going on Disney Plus. My call. That's it. And Bob Chapek himself. So that's who they were calling out. And so, of course, then we got the Chapek hostage video, and then all the Reimagined Tomorrow stuff leaked from Christopher Rufo and stuff like that. And people were going, what the hell is going on at Disney?
That hostage video was the worst.
And I'm going to tell you what, when that came out, all those Pixar people, you have not heard a peep out of them since.
No,
the board came in, everything. Chapek, everybody came in and clamped down. You want your job? Shut up. Because things are, and we did a video about last week. I had Pro on. He's got a lot of inside scoops. The changes are coming, especially now that Chapek has been renewed. And it's happening. That Peter Rice firing was humongous. And that was the opening salvo. But the point is that this failure of Lightyear, all the kerfuffle and all the public relations disaster that these crazy frickin' moron woke goofbag employees that they have, limited in number as they are, it caused the Walt Disney Company. And then putting this, it drew attention to all this. Pixar drew attention to this. Pixar called out Lightyear specifically when they got angry, right, in public, and they went to Variety magazine.
Did Chris Evans. I mean, he didn't help. He he came out.
Chris Evans is an idiot.
I know.
He is an idiot.
He didn't help.
And if I was a movie studio that was going to contract Chris Evans to be in everything, I'd have it in my contract. Shut your dumb ass up.
Yeah,
we will approve every social media post that you put out there.
That's
and
right.
If you get into politics and you do this, you lose every dime we owe you. The contract is null and void. You're working for free. Sign it or piss off.
Yeah, I would too.
And that's
at
exactly
this point,
I'm tired of this with Hollywood. They have the powers. Like you don't want this anymore. You don't want your movies losing hundreds of millions of dollars because your actors are too stupid. Because look, there's no penalty for somebody like Chris Evans. Chris Evans don't have a dime of equity in this game.
He's been paid already. Of course he's going to say
he got his 10 million, 15, whatever for his voiceover, whatever. He got his millions of dollars. He walked away. That's it.
That's it. And then he calls the fans dinosaurs for not wanting to see a gay person in the cartoon. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. And then Jurassic World came out and the dinosaurs stomped his ass to death.
Yeah.
That was one of the best video openings I ever did. I loved doing that one.
Real quick, let me get this super chat here. Wilson, the unauthorized biography of Tom Hanks. Thank you so much for the $5. Your name always cracks me up. I was supposed to have a small part in the Kenobi series. When Reva was standing over Luke, I was to come flying on off screen and knock her out. Oh, wow. Wilson, that would have been amazing to see a volleyball do that. That would have been fantastic.
Probably would have been actually better than the real show.
I may have actually watched it if that happened. Wilson, again, thank you so much for another $5. Says it would then cut to Kenobi. Oh, this is the part 2. Okay. It would cut to Kenobi straightening up after throwing me and saying, "Hello there. Hello there. Hello there." That's what he says, right? Sadly, was still adrift on the ocean and couldn't make it. I'm so sorry that that happened to you, Wilson. By the way, have you seen Elvis?
No, I have not. It looks good.
It
I do.
looks so good.
I'm not a big Elvis fan, but I have a tremendous amount of respect for him as a musician. My wife's a music teacher, so I mean, look. So but I've ever since I first saw Moulin Rouge in the theaters 20 something years ago now, that was a Baz Luhrmann movie. So when I saw Baz Luhrmann was doing this, I'm like, well, chances are this is going to be done right.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good.
I'm sure Elvis's estate, I mean, would be very, very heavily involved in this, obviously.
Probably.
And they probably have a tremendous amount of veto power creatively over what was going to go on. But I think Baz Luhrmann would have treated. I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about it. I'll get around to see. I don't know if I'll see it in the theater, but I will eventually get around to seeing it. I'm sure.
I'm definitely gonna watch it. I don't know if I'll go to the theater either. The only reason I remembered is because it's Wilson, and I remember Tom Hanks was in the new Elvis movie. So and I heard it's really good. So like I was just wondering if you've seen it or not. Thank you for that super chat though. Another $5 from Radio Man 1017. Thank you so much. Says, stick to the death of the phrase 4D chess. No one is playing that. Disney is clueless. Stop giving any of them credit for being smart. Love you guys. I have sometimes I think a clock can be right twice a day. So sometimes when people do certain things that I have no expectations of, like people like Bob Chapek or something like that, I don't think it's not that I think that they're smart. It's that I think that they can be right twice a day because they're just broken clocks and they're just trying to figure things out. And
well, I understand. I mean, look, not everything that is like anybody in his position. Not everybody is going to like everything that he does. And I understand like people complain about the changes at the parks and the nickel and diming. And I've kind of addressed this before. I said, look, you got to remember his job at the end of the day is to make the Walt Disney Company as profitable as he possibly can. That is his directive. Period. In the discussion. Now the thing is, Disney has a limited amount of supply of Disney. They cannot put the whole world in Orlando, right? A lot of people want to get in, especially now that international travelers are able to come back and fly in. Those international travelers spend way more money.
No, we can't. Well, I mean, I can't.
You can't, but I mean, there's a lot of international travelers that are now able to come in and fly internationally
I understand
again.
what you mean.
Yeah. And those travelers spend at the Disney parks way more money on average.
Yeah, I agree with this though. $5,000 drinks at Galactic Star Cruiser. What the F is that?
I don't know what the hell's in it. I mean, and I made this comment. I said, unless there's a bottle of Louis XIV's in there, brandy, along with 2 Baccarat brandy snifters, that ain't worth $5,000. Now, what they're doing with this is that it's a marketing thing. It's like, look, we made a $5,000 drink at the Star Wars Hotel because it gets everybody talking about it, right? But the point is that they're adding all these extra fees on right now because there's plenty enough people out there willing to pay it. Period. Not everybody's going to be happy with it, but a lot of people are more than willing to pay it, especially international travelers coming in to do it because it's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So if they can get it, get it. That's the way business works. Now, as far as the 4D chess thing, like, do I think that everything Chapek does is right, wrong? No. But look, the issue is the reason he was brought in was because the company needs to get moderated back to the center. It needs to not be a political entity. You got to realize all the stuff that you're seeing right now, all the nasty, crappy stuff that we complain about with Disney, has all been long established and set up and put in place by the predecessor, Robert Iger, the former CEO, who, towards the end of his tenure at Disney, the last 3-4 years, was basically kind of leveraging Disney to set up his presidential run. Okay? For the Democrat Party. He might still. Who knows? I mean, if you think the guy sitting in the White House now could still survive 2024, he may or may not. I don't think he will.
If he would, though, I don't know if he would go for president right away. Wouldn't he go for governorship first?
No, he'd probably go. That I'm just telling you, that's what the talk around town was. Everybody knew it. It was the worst.
I
kept
remember
secret.
that. Like I
Robert
remember the
Iger
talk of town was that
he was
gonna
looking
run.
at the White House, and that's where he wanted to go, and he was leveraging Disney into the hard left to ramp up a lot of financial support. So that's where we are. So a lot of those elements that are still at Disney are there because of Iger. One of them that came in through the Fox acquisition, Peter Rice, was just summarily frog marched and beaten in public by Bob Chapek last month and fired. And that doesn't happen without board approval at that level, because you're talking about an 8-figure, 10 million plus payout for that kind of contract to fire him early. Peter Rice was the wokest of the woke, and Chapek just canned him.
And he got fired? That's kind of shocking.
Susan Arnold went along with it, and then within 2 weeks of that, they came out and they said this board stands behind Chapek in his vision. We've renewed him for 3 more years. Eat a bag of dicks. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's just so crazy to me because I know that whole thing with Kathleen Kennedy too. Like everybody was like, "Oh, she's gonna get fired." Like after like Solo, like after the whole thing.
Let me address, because I was one of the people that said that yes, she's probably going to be on her way out. There's no way she can stay. And I've said this a million times, because what I qualified that with was the business metrics, every financial metric and business metric of how Lucasfilm is performing financially and business wise, absolutely says that anybody in her position should be let go and be replaced. There's no.
Well, yeah, I mean, logic says that because she failed.
They have not put a single movie into pre-production since 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
This is Lucasfilm. They were supposed to be churning out Star Wars movies every year, right? All this stuff. All they have done is fart out a few, with the exception of maybe like Mandalorian, some kind of half-assed Disney Plus shows so far. And nothing. There's no theatrical, and Disney Plus does not make money. Disney Plus loses money every quarter, so there's nothing going on there. So I mean, they kind of struck gold with Grogu, but thank Jon Favreau for that one. And that's
I never thought Kathleen Kennedy was going to get fired. I said that from day one. I was like, this bitch ain't going nowhere.
Well, I know. I never thought she would get fired. I just thought the assumption was that when her contract comes up for renewal every 3 years, okay, around about October. So we just had one in 2021. Now, what I said the other day was, or a few times since this has happened, I said, look, what I think at the end of the day is one of two things. Either there's something in her original contract, because she had the stamp of good faith from George Lucas back in 2012 when Disney bought them, right? Lucas said, yeah, you buy it for $4.4 or $4.04 billion, sold to the Disney company, and you got to take Kathy with you and let her run the studio. So there's either something in her contract that stipulates, effectively, short of her burning down the building, that she gets renewed every 3 years until she decides kind of herself to leave. Or what I think is also just as likely, you have to remember, she's very much a Hollywood creature. She's in the position she's in largely because of people like Steven Spielberg and her husband, Frank Marshall. Okay?
Congo.
Call it what it Congo. Yeah, call it what it is. Robert Iger, that we were just talking about, also very much a Hollywood creature. And they have known each other for many, 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 many years.
So you think they know where the bodies are buried?
Well, I don't go down that road, but my point is that Robert Iger was still executive chairman of the board of the Walt Disney Company until 6 months ago.
Right.
So
he wasn't going to be like, bye, old friend.
Even if Bob Chapek, clearly he understands, accounting. Even if Chapek was looking at this going, we really need somebody else in there running this, because this is not working. What's going on in Lucasfilm is not working. Even if he wanted to not renew her contract and find somebody else, at the end of the day, if the executive chairman comes down, Robert Iger says, you're renewing her, there's nothing Chapek can do. The executive chairman of the board comes in, well, that's done. So that could, again, this is a possibility. And I think it's a reasonable possibility. But there's also the issue of, there's things in the contract about she could have to work on a movie and all this kind of stuff. Well, Indy 5, because Kathy, she's even said it herself, Star Wars was not
a thing about Indy 5, by the way, since like Harrison Ford got injured. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is like gonna be probably like Indiana, and then I don't know, whatever. But I haven't heard a thing about it since he got injured.
July
and all
of
that
next
stuff went
year.
down.
July of next year. That's all we know. But that, you see, Indiana Jones was what Kathy Kennedy really enjoyed. That was her thing. That's what she loved
I
working
know.
on.
That's her baby.
Well, I say working on her baby, but I mean, it was Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. Kathy was there fetching coffee and coming up with terrible ideas, according to Steven Spielberg.
She was also on her knees, to be fair. Come on now.
Go down that road. But the point is, she never really cared that much about Star Wars. She said that
Sure.
herself.
Yeah, she said
so,
that before.
So she wanted to do Indy 5. And I really think, you got to remember, Kathleen Kennedy, by the time this movie comes out next year, Indy 5 in July of 2023, is going to be 74, 75 years old. I think that's what they're waiting on. I think there was some agreement made, and I think this is a very reasonable assumption. That look, we're going to put out Indy 5 and then, retire, part ways amicably, get a nice big fat lifetime achievement award over there.
She's definitely gonna get that. I don't know what.
Oh yeah, at the Oscars.
I don't know what is going to happen
she's-
to her, but whether she's gonna get retired or whatever, she's gonna get some sort of lifetime achievement award before she leaves.
Disney cannot allow this to continue. And I don't care whether you think, oh, well, they love her because she's woke and all this. Put that aside. Look at reality for a second. Like I said, Disney, they have not put out a Star Wars film in 5 to 6 years, has not gone into pre-production. I realize, 2019, we got The Last Jedi, or the Rise of Palpatine, whatever, it's 3 years ago. Yeah, that movie went into pre-production years before that. I'm talking about getting a movie actually into pre-production. Everything that they have announced has been canceled. I knew right off, that Patty Jenkins movie ain't happening. Guess what? It ain't happening. The Rian Johnson trilogy, that was a bunch of BS. That's never going to happen. Then you had the Lord and Miller one. Then you had the Benoff
What about the
and
new
Weiss.
one, the Taika Waititi one?
Oh, that ain't happening either.
You don't think that's happening?
No, especially not after this Thor Love and Thunder crap.
Okay, wait 1 second, because I keep forgetting to mention this, but GJJ, thank you so much for being a member and also gifting 5 membership. You are freaking awesome. You're amazing. Thank you so much. I can't highlight anything because StreamYard doesn't let me highlight you, but GJJ, you're freaking awesome. Thank you so much for that. But okay, let's go back to Thor, because we were talking about Thor and we kind of got off track.
Yeah.
So
I was just going to finish with that thought real quick.
Yeah,
unless and until, and this goes for Star Wars because this is how it mathematically has worked out for the last several years. Unless and until you see money in hand, a camera rolling with actors in front of it, and Taika Waititi behind that camera, it ain't happening.
It is not happening.
I'm just telling, because that's what they have canceled. What, 5, 6 different, 7 different writer and director teams to this point?
I feel like if Taika Waititi was going to make a Star Wars movie, I feel like what he would make, I'm not even joking you, I think would be like Taika Waititi's Star Wars, the Jar Jar story. And it would just be like about
it'd be a joke.
The silliest,
the whole thing would be a joke.
Jokiest, like, let's just make just jokes. It's gonna be about like fucking Jar Jar and like fucking Ewoks like holding hands and like making jokes. So that's gonna be like Taika Waititi Star Wars. Hey, thanks for becoming a member, Commander Ed Straker of Shadow. Thank you. But yeah, so Thor. I mean, is this thing losing money? Like, is it losing money?
Well, we're not there yet. But I mean, certainly the trajectory from where it started and from what we know from historical performances of Marvel films and how they leg out from opening weekend, especially in recent years, especially since post-pandemic era, it's in some serious doubt right now. I mean, again, let's go back to when we talked about this earlier. So this movie reportedly has a budget of $250 million. I had a little bit of a problem swallowing that pill. Most modern Marvel movies come in with around $200 million. I did a video about a week ago talking about this movie and Shang-Chi were filmed back-to-back in Australia. So Disney got some cost economies of scale with the Australian government because they contracted all these local Australian crews, film crews, the studios, the Fox studios in Australia, which they acquired through the Fox acquisition. So they got some economies of scale filming these 2 movies back-to-back. It also afforded them a larger piece of a pot of a film tax credit that Australia had made available to such productions.
I remember that.
And I said in the video that what I think may have happened, and this wouldn't be the first time, is that it's very possible, well, I don't know for sure, but it's very possible that Disney could have skewed some of the production costs with where they wrote it off on a financial or a balance statement or a balance sheet or a financial statement, to where they showed the budget of Shang-Chi at $150 million, which was very low for a Marvel movie. Instead of showing, like $200 million for Shang-Chi and $200 million for Thor, they took $150 million on Shang-Chi, took $250 on Thor. There may be a skew that's less or greater than that, but I think that's kind of what was going on there, because I think it was better for Disney to show a lower cost of production on Shang-Chi, because it was one of the first big movies they were putting, was the first big movie they were putting back exclusively in theaters, but only for 45 days. So they could show a lower production cost to make the threshold lower for them to show profitability, and then take more of the cost burden and place it on Thor 4 that we have now, because they assumed by the time that movie came out and it's Thor, we should be able to make a lot more money with that.
Did they reshoot a lot of Thor?
I'm not aware of a lot of reshoots. They did a
I
lot of
know they
reshoots
did
on
that
Doctor
with Doctor
Strange.
Strange. Yeah. Like I know Doctor Strange got a ton of reshoots, but I don't remember hearing about Thor getting any reshoots, because I know
Apart from your
reshoots cost
normal-
money, so I don't know.
Well, yes and no. So the kind of reshoots that a normal production would account for. So like you might say, okay, we're going to have 90 days of principal photography, which is about what Thor had, because it's very CGI heavy.
Yes.
90 days of principal photography, and you build in the contracts with the crew and the actors and everything like that. It's like, hey, we'll also have 2 weeks scheduled for pickup shoots or reshoots, which is basically just kind of a standard fare where you go back and you get into the editing process and you go, oh crap, that shot didn't come out like we wanted. So you go back and you basically reshoot the same thing again, because your principal photography the first time around wasn't quite what you wanted, or maybe you wanted a different shot, or them to say a line a little bit differently now that you're getting the edit together and it didn't work. That's normal stuff. That's built in. What Strange did was not normal pickup shoots.
No.
That was 6 solid weeks of big time reshoots. 6 weeks, you can shoot a lot of movies entirely in 6 weeks. So
Wow.
I mean, it's not like big CGI things, but I mean, you can shoot almost an entire rom-com in 45 to 60 days.
Sure.
So, I mean, that's what we're talking about with Strange. So, that was something totally different. But I think you take the budget here, $250 million, you factor in easily, and I'm really low balling, $100 million in global marketing.
Yeah.
Putting the total cost at $350. I pegged the total cost here probably closer.
I would say more for
400.
the marketing.
I said 400 total. And here's why. We know Spider-Man No Way Home. Sony spent north of $240 million marketing the movie. Marketing it, not producing it.
Not producing
$200 million producing it, $240 marketing that sucker. We know from sources inside at Paramount that was leaked to Matthew Baloney at Puck Magazine, that Paramount spent, quote, north of $150 million marketing Maverick. And by north, I mean, that easily could have been 170, 180 at this point, because that movie's done so well. They probably reallocated a lot of extra money after the movie came out to continue making the marketing push, because it was doing so damn well, and that's money well spent. So a Marvel movie like Thor or Strange should be in that same range, because it's releasing internationally to the same, number of countries, theaters. I mean, the footprint is basically the same thing. $150 million in marketing these days for movies like these is getting very common. So at $400 million all in, this movie, depending on how much it skews at the end of the day domestically, U.S. and Canada, versus internationally, in terms of where the box office receipts are, 750 to 800 million is what this movie needs to break even.
Do you think it's gonna make it? I don't know if
No.
I don't know if it will.
No, it's not at this point. Short of this movie,
and it's not getting a China release either, right?
Nothing Disney is putting out is getting into China right now. Ragnarok had a China release, and it finished at, I think, 800 something million. I remember going back and looking. I said, okay, without China, Thor Ragnarok, when it came out, made 700 million. Without China. So if this movie can get to 700 million, I think
it would be a success.
That's about Well, there's probably still going to, at 700 million, there's a very, very strong chance they're still losing money.
It wouldn't be an utter failure though, like the way Lightyear would be.
No. They're not going to have like a 150-200 million dollar debacle like that.
Right.
But it's going to be, it's not going to quite break even. Now, in the olden days with theatrical releases, that was okay. And when I say in the olden days, I say I'm talking 5-7 years ago, before all these studios had their own streaming services. Because what would happen is a theatrical release like this that did, hey, you did 750 million at a global box office. That's a good haul. Now, your production budget was insane, along with your marketing budget, and you didn't make your nut back at the box office. However, I can now parlay the gross success of this film at the box office into getting potentially hundreds of millions of dollars more in direct cash payments over the next several years from places like HBO, Showtime, Stars, Encore, Netflix, TBS, Sci-Fi Channel, whatever, cable, ABC, CBS, broadcast networks and cable networks. That's what it used to be. Movies could continue to make tons of money for years on end. I always kind of use like the crazy example that everybody knows, right? Elf, Christmas Vacation, shit like this. These movies, they didn't make a ton of money at the box office. They did good. They were okay. They have made Christmas Vacation and Elf have made hundreds of millions of dollars more in profits since the movies came out in theaters.
In syndication and stuff like that, right?
Every Christmas these things hit. It's like because that's the kind of thing that used to do. Remember, Disney used to have a very lucrative deal with Netflix until they launched Disney Plus and then yanked the contract.
Yeah.
They were putting all these Marvel titles on Netflix. Netflix was paying them billions for these licensing for this Marvel Cinematic Universe. They pulled all that out. So again, these kind of movies now, because the changes in the industry, those secondary market revenue sources, tertiary market revenue sources are no longer there. Disney is counting on Disney Plus to one day become profitable so that then when they put these things there, that they can perhaps make money. But it is not there now. So, without these movies making back their production budget and their marketing budget in the first run, in the theater, in the first tranche of these releases, it's become a problem. And the fact that these movie studios have decided to only give certain movies, like every Disney movie so far, has only gotten 45 days of exclusive theatrical run. Now, they were trying not to do that with Doctor Strange. They were trying to let it run out. But Doctor Strange, big opening weekend, and then it just basically hit a brick wall after that.
Yeah, it just plummeted though.
Yeah, it kind of hit a brick wall after that by comparison.
Because it sucked.
And Disney pulled it. They then announced and said, okay, and they put it on Disney Plus on day 46. Now, what you need to understand...
I hated Doctor Strange more than Thor. Like, I didn't like this Thor movie very much at all.
Strange was a mess.
But Doctor Strange was worse to me, personally.
But what people need to understand is that when studios and distributors make that call to then dump it onto a streaming service 45 days after it went into the theater, or like Warner Brothers did for 2021 and put all of their movies day and date onto HBO Max when they hit the theaters.
That was a failure.
That's why Jason Kilar got fired. And the point is that the theaters then pay them much less. And that's a fact. I've got the financial. That's going to be another video coming up very soon. We're going to go through the financial data. Nobody's talking about this on YouTube. Nobody's ever doing this. I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to bore everybody to tears because I'm going to show people I'm tired of getting stupid comments in my chat and things on Twitter. There's like people just don't understand how this works. It's like, and it's like, no, you're wrong, man. I had somebody tell me the other day that the theaters were taking less of a cut now on the box office because the studios were putting on a streaming. I'm like, it's literally the exact opposite of what you just said.
Can't take less because if they took less, they would be out of business immediately. Yeah. Like you can't. So it's not sustainable.
If Thor 4 really hits a brick wall
Which
And
I think it will, because it
I
was
think
terrible.
we're 5 days out, and it's starting to line up exactly with the trends in the the plot points on the graph of Doctor Strange. So it's going to come in. It's probably going to finish between, I think at this point, I will know more. And again, if we talk about change opinions,
Yeah.
I may change my statement after the second weekend. We'll see. But if things hold where it is now, this movie is looking at like maybe 650 to 700 million.
Well, there you go.
No bueno.
There you go, kids. You heard
Yeah.
it here first, but at the
So-
same time, don't hold us to it because we don't.
Well, if you follow my channel, like I said, by Sunday we'll have updated information, and I'll know it's like, okay, it's still kind of in that trend line, or it's not. But
I
that's
feel
that's
you.
where it's at right now. And if that happens, Disney's going to pull it. Disney's going to drop it on Disney Plus on day 46, just like they did with Doctor Strange, and that means that AMC, Regal Cinemark, Marcus Theaters, all these theater companies around there are going to go, okay, you get less money now. That's how the contracts work. That is a fact.
Earlier, we had this comment back from Tobias that said that as someone who takes care of cancer patients for a living, I was disappointed to see that cancer was treated as a throwaway narrative device that didn't even really work for the film. And I think this comment really kind of like nails some of the problems with Thor, because it was such a dark theme and it was just made light of. And a lot of people, like I saw an article yesterday that talked about how they really want to put a warning, like a trigger warning before Thor, because it deals with cancer and death. And some people in the movie were kind of like shocked about seeing those kind of scenes. Which, I mean, I'm never really for warnings and stuff like that, but at the same time, I understand, because it's a struggle, you know, like it's like if you watch your parent or someone die from cancer, hey, Teresa, it's painful. It's painful to see. So when you're going to a kids movie, PG-13, and you're watching this and you're not getting a resolution because she dies in the end, spoiler alert, she dies in the end. You know, it's no good. It's no good.
Too bad Reva didn't.
I know, right? Well, I can't say anything about that because I haven't seen the show. But also I'm not racist, so whatever.
She was supposed to, and then they changed it, allegedly.
Did they?
So,
I heard
yeah.
I'm supposed to get a prequel. I also heard that Eternals got a second movie.
No,
Oh,
that
did
was
you hear
that
about
was a
that?
joke.
Was that a joke?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I saw it. Somebody was actually those are some of the Twitter comments I was talking about. I kind of went in there just making financial comments on it, but I didn't realize that the discussing film, it was like the parody account.
Oh, it was the parody account that
Yeah.
posted it.
It was the parody
Okay.
account, yeah.
All
So,
right.
but that's where some of that conversation I was having with somebody telling me, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's like, where are you getting this information? It's like everything you just said for the last 5 tweets is dead wrong.
Oh my
It's
God.
like it's that bad. I'm like, where are you getting this bad information? It's like I'm looking at actual financial reports from theater
That's
chains.
hilarious.
I have it. I'll put it this way. I can tell you right now, down to the 0.01%, exactly what theaters paid out to distributors last year.
Please tell.
So, well, I'll go to that in the video. We'll get there. But I mean, this
Okay.
is I'll put it this way. I've said this in the videos plenty since I've been on YouTube. My calculations is always based on when I said earlier, like, okay, Thor Love and Thunder needs about 800 million. That is because I know factually that the average payout right now is about 55%, or at least traditionally for the last couple of years before we got to the coup. 55% of domestic revenues go back to the studios and distributors from the theater. So you pay $10 for a ticket, which it ain't $10 anymore. It's $15.
No.
But when you did pay $10 for a ticket, that $10, the theater kept $4.50 of it. $5.50 of it went back to the distributor, Paramount, Disney, Universal,
the movie
Warner
theaters.
Brothers,
Yeah,
whatever.
like the distributors. Yeah.
The distributor. Internationally, that figure is about 42.6%. Okay, 43%. And the reason is because you have a lot of international laws and taxes and things like that come into play. So I can look at what a domestic box office haul is and what an international box office haul is, ex-China, because China only pays 20 to 25%. And I can tell you this is about what they're getting back in the aggregate. Now, there's other things involved like performance triggers. The more money a movie makes, Top Gun Maverick, there you go. The more money a movie makes, there's oftentimes escalators. Every movie contract with AMC theaters, every contract is negotiated individually.
Right.
There is no one size fits all. We pay you this. That's
Mhm.
bogus. I don't know where people get this from, but the point is they generally have contract performance triggers in there that escalate as the movie does better and better and better. Because at the end of the day, the theater's like, we're not taking a bath.
Of course not.
We're selling tickets. You either get butts in the seats and make a good movie or not. Because if your movie underperforms, no problem. We're going to keep a higher percentage of the gate, and it's in black and white. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So when you have
I mean, they'll up their prices on popcorn and stuff like that because
Yeah.
they'll need to, because that's how they kind of stay alive. But other than that, they're still gonna they have to get their cut, because if they don't, they're gonna go under. It's just
Yeah. No, I mean,
gonna...
I'm gonna go through the hard financial data, and because there's a lot of people out there with like a lot of misunderstandings of how theaters work, and they think, the old wives' tale that theaters don't keep any of the ticket prices. They have to make their money on popcorn and drinks because the studios take 90%. I'm like, that's just complete bunk. It's just it's absolute nonsense. And there's just a lot of misunderstanding, and people think, oh well, the production budget was $200 million and it's already made $300 million, so it's made $100 million in profit. No,
oh my God, that's not how it works.
Not how it works at all.
Well, I'm looking forward to you breaking these kind of stuff down, because I'm someone who has problems with like understanding like numbers and all the fine details of things. So I look forward to your videos. And I highly suggest that everybody subscribe to Valiant Renegade, because he does a lot of these kind of things. He debunks a lot of these kind of narratives, and it's good. It's really good, especially if you're on Twitter and you're like fighting with crazy people, and you want to just like be like, no, here are some facts. That's what I do all the time. I'm like, here's Valiant Renegade's video.
The guy that was telling me this on Twitter the other day, I was like, okay, I'm going to ask you a third time, because he wasn't responding. I'm like, where are you getting this from? He posts back a 5-year-old John Campea video.
Oh no!
And I'm like, oh,
Campea.
dude. And I'm like, look, okay, some of the stuff he said in there is fine, but some of the numbers that he gave are just completely wrong and just verifiably, factually wrong.
You're like Trump. You're like, wrong.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go. I'm just like, no, bro. It's kind of one of those, like the Campea Estates. I'm not trying to pick on him. He's like, okay, I used to work at AMC theaters, and I remember being told, and then he fill in the blank, and it was like that the theaters would only keep 33%. I'm like, bruh. No, you were told wrong. I'm like, it's like, and unless you're telling me that AMC and Cinemark are lying on their tax returns, and lying to the Securities and Exchange Commission, for what reason other than what they want to pay more taxes? I mean, that sure, okay, I guess you'd be. It's like no. That might happen on a movie that's a real flop, that doesn't bring in the box office, or like some small independent. That is not how this works at all with the major studio distributors out of Hollywood, the Paramounts, the Disneys, the Universals, the Warner Brothers, Lionsgate, even in that vein. You're talking about and those are the studios that represent like 75% of the theatrical haul every year. So that's the real numbers. So we'll get into that in the video.
Well, real quick, because I know you have to leave soon. I don't know what's going on with this super chat.
Also, it's Shrebbles. Yeah, I know him.
Okay, you know him. Okay, because I know sometimes
Shrebbles knows this. No, it's a joke. So
you want to read it?
Yeah. Hail bitch puddin' and Nina. so for those of you who don't know, okay, so bitch puddin' is a character from Robot Chicken.
Okay.
One of my favorite characters on Robot Chicken on Comedy Central, or Adult Swim, excuse me. And one time I went on Mary Mayhem's Saturday night show, Shenanigans, and we were goofing off, and so I went in there as Bitch Puddin' with the
Oh,
cartoon
that's
character on this.
right.
So yeah, so
Okay.
Trebles is from over there, his friend of Mary's, and
Thanks,
so
Trebles.
every
That was
time he shows,
great.
like if I'm on a channel somewhere, it's like on my own live chat, Trebles comes in, "What's up, Bitch Puddin'?" You know.
I mean, like sometimes like I get weird comments about guests and I'm like, I don't know if I should be reading this or like is it like a hate comment? Like I don't want to like make people feel uncomfortable.
No,
So
no,
if
no,
it's like
no,
a hate thing, I'm like, okay.
not at
So
all.
that was a joke. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, give me your opinion of this. Top Gun Maverick sinks Titanic to become Paramount's highest grossing domestic movie ever.
The statement comes with a caveat.
Okay.
And that is the caveat is that only includes the initial run of Titanic. James Cameron then re-released Titanic, or Paramount with Cameron re-released Titanic in 2012 for the 15th anniversary because some other movies had kind of passed it up, so he wanted to try to rejack the box office at that point. So
he's playing with the numbers.
Well, but I mean, look. Here it worked, and I'll tell you why. The first initial run of Titanic in 1997, of course, these are all completely unadjusted for inflation, ticket price inflation, of course, numbers. The first run of Titanic closed out like right at 600 million. Top Gun Maverick surpassed that today. Okay, it went to 601, 602. That does not include the additional, it was 59 or 60 million that Titanic made 15 years later when it got re-released. So if you look at the charts now, it'll show that Titanic's domestic grosses, unadjusted, are about 659 million. So now, Top Gun will, at this point, I'd say is very likely to beat that figure as well. So you will have, I think this movie is going to finish out, I think it could finish out in the 670 to 680 region. You got to remember, Top Gun Maverick right now, Tom Cruise holds all the power contractually over this movie. He negotiated a 120-day theatrical exclusive window. So that means this movie could, short of Paramount paying Tom Cruise another big bucket of money, that this movie will still be playing on Labor Day. So, at least in some theaters. To what extent? Now, at this point, like I said, Lightyear's been out for like 3 weeks or whatever it's been, 4 weeks. And when it came into its third weekend or fourth weekend, they lost half their screens. They went from 4,000 to 2,000. Top Gun Maverick came out with 4,500 screens, and it still has 3,600 of them.
Wow.
And it's a month older. So the point is that this thing the theaters are keeping it around because it's still a money machine. Okay?
Do you think that he's going to experience the same thing with the new Mission Impossible?
I actually made a statement on Twitter the other day, and I said, I'm going to go ahead and make the bet right now that MI7 Dead Reckoning Part 1, domestically at least, will outgross Indiana Jones 5 next summer.
Wait, did you say Part 1? Is it a Part 1 movie? What does that mean?
There are 2 more Mission Impossible movies coming out.
Okay.
Dead Reckoning Part 1, 2023 in June. Dead Reckoning Dead Reckoning Part 2, 2024 June.
Oh, so they're splitting the last one into 2 parts.
Yes.
Kind of like Harry Potter style.
After this movie, after this Top Gun Maverick popularity, those Dead Reckoning films just got another
they got a boost.
$100 million plus $200 million boost from this.
Wow. Yeah, I think so too. I do. I didn't know it was 2 parts. That kind of gives me a little I don't like the 2-parters.
Well,
but
it's better than trying to squish the end to this franchise into one movie and trying to force, something into 2.5 where they could say like, look, let's just make 2-hour movies.
I agree. And you make more money. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1 and 2. I mean, you got to do it.
You got to do it. You got to do it. Okay, last thing before you leave, because it was in the title and description and stuff. What did you think about the L that Amber Heard took? Judge throws out attempt to overturn Depp verdict. Because I thought it was funny.
Me and Legal Mindset kind of dived into this last night.
Okay, give me the key points.
This was so stupid. I don't know who in the hell thought, and I'm not a lawyer, but I mean, I looked at this and I'm like, I don't know who in the hell thought this was a good idea. It's like their big key point, of course, was they said, "Oh, well, we think that we seated the wrong juror," and it's like, well, isn't that the responsibility of the attorneys during the voir dire process
Didn't
to
they
make
get
sure
vetted, the jurors?
all juries get vetted? That's the voir
Mhm.
dire process. It's like, no, that's incumbent upon the attorneys to make sure that they have the jurors that they choose, and the attorneys choose the jurors. So it's like coming in after the fact, like, well, we lost, so we're not happy. So now we're going to go back and ex post facto challenge this. I was like, this is just a bunch of crap. And Andrew and I said this last night. I said, there's no way this is going anywhere. And then today we got confirmation. The judge threw it out, basically cited even the Virginia state law that said, dumbass, you can't do this. It's right here in the code. You filed a motion asking me to do something that there's a specific law that says, no, under these specific circumstances, you can't do this. Like, you didn't even bother to look up the damn law that before you filed this that specifically says you're not allowed to do that.
Like her attorneys, like Elaine
Amber's
and them were
attorney.
not.
Yeah, Elaine.
Yeah, okay.
Stupid. just absolutely stupid. They're just trying anything they can at this point.
Oh, the L's keep on coming. It's so great. And like today, I saw like Eve Barlow's. What was it? It was so funny. Something was trending, like Eve Barlow's an idiot or something like that. I was like, oh my God, like how is this trending right now? This is so freaking funny. This is an understatement, TZ Burton. Amber's a mess. Like, wow. Her career is on the mattress, or should I say down the toilet, whatever. I don't know where she takes her shits, but that's where her career is.
Apparently anywhere she damn well pleases.
Valiant, it's been a wonderful evening talking to you. I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
So tell everyone where they can find you, and yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I appreciate. I wish I could stay a little bit longer, but I've got to get up early with the kids and the wife. And we got stuff going on, and but no, you can find me over at Valiant Renegade, Valiant with 2 L's on YouTube, and then the same on Twitter. Valiant Renegade, just drop the E at the end because Twitter can't fit the last E in there in the characters for whatever reason. So yeah, appreciate everybody that's been watching. It's been a fun ride the last 16, 17 months, whatever I've been on YouTube.
It's been great.
We had our 10,000 live stream celebration a few weeks ago. Nina was there. I was glad you make it. We're at like 11,400 right now, I think. So getting there. I will say that if you're looking for the live streams, I finally figured out. I made a library, I guess, on my homepage for YouTube. I have a backup channel that I put all the live streams on when I'm finished with them. I'm like 40 or 50 subs away from 1,000 on that one. I'm trying to get that one over the hump.
I put that in the description, everybody. I put both the channels in the description.
Renegade Online is the other one.
Renegade Online is the other one. And I subscribed to that today myself. I subscribed to Renegade Online because I didn't even know you had it. I went to like get your channels and stuff, and it was on your channel. I just started
promoting it. Like I was only promoting it on the live streams, which I've only done maybe 7 or 8 live streams since I started live streaming, because everything else is just regular upload videos. So I was trying to get a more concerted effort to remember to tell folks, go sign up for that channel too, because everybody always asks me like Monday morning, hey, what happened to your live stream? I was watching it, went private. I can't pull it up to get banned. I'm like, no. It's over there because YouTube's goofy, because if you do a lot of video uploads like I do, and then all of a sudden after a year you start live streaming, it blows your algorithms. My channel died for a month. And I'm like, oh crap. So
that's why John Talks never streams on his channel anymore, guys. You guys you wonder why he's here all the time.
Yeah. Well, he could still stream. It's just that he has to.
He doesn't want to.
Well, make another channel for it, or as soon as the stream's over, privatize it.
He used to do that all the time.
Dump it on another channel, because that's what that works.
He's not risking his channel anymore though. He's like, I can't talk. Like I can't.
Just make another channel. That's why I made Renegade Online. It's because everybody's like, look, I put all the live streams because they're like 2 hours long. Most of my videos are around 15 to 20 minutes. Like if I have a guest on like WDW Pro, it goes for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. But when you all of a sudden dump a 2+ hour live stream in there, it's like, YouTube doesn't know what to do with it, and it just wrecks everything.
That's hilarious. Maybe that's why my channel is weird and dead, because I have everything still on here. Like I have nothing different. All my live streams are on here.
Make
All of
Nina
it.
make Nina Infinity Live or Nina Infinity Archive or something, and then you can still do like look at Critical Drinker,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of modeled it up. Critical Drinker does his open bar streams on
Yeah.
his main channel on
Yes.
Critical Drinker, and the minute those streams are over, they're gone.
Yeah.
And if you
then
want to
he
find
deletes
him,
them and then he puts them on the other channel.
well,
Anna does the same thing, that Star Wars girl.
you can dual stream it. That's what I do.
Oh, you can?
On StreamYard, I have both Renegade Online and Valiant Renegade hooked to StreamYard. So when I do my live show on Valiant Renegade, it is also live streaming it at the same time to Renegade Online. On Renegade Online, I just have it privatized.
Oh.
So you can't see it. So as soon as I'm finished, the same thumbnail and everything, the same description is in both places. And I just I turn off the one on Valiant Renegade and turn on the one on Renegade Online, and that's it. I'm done in 5 seconds.
Okay, we need to talk later, okay?
I
We
give
need to talk.
Fat Steven Seagal credit to him because he told me about that. I didn't even think about that.
I've never even thought about this before. And you know what? Fat
yeah.
Steven's amazing. Everybody, Fat Steven Seagal. Give
He's
his
doing all my
channel.
graphics, all my thumbnails recently have been all him.
Oh my god!
Steve,
Fat
I
Steven is
have
special.
Steven like doing all my stuff now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put his channel in the chat right now because Fat Steven, honestly, he's
Like
I feel
my
he's
new
one of
logo, the VR logo, the new one. That's this one, not my old one. Let me do this. That's Steven. Now I got the lightning thing, but he did the font and the graphic, the titling and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And then the stuff on the channel, and he even made one for my kids' YouTube gaming channel. And
He's just such a great guy. Like,
but I have him do thumbnails for me,
stuff.
so he's I mean, I'm paying him, but I mean, I'm paying him because he's good. And I was like,
No, but he's
it's like
great.
I don't have time to do the thumbnails, and it's easier for me to just like, here, look, this is what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm gonna have this person on, or it's gonna be just me. This is kind of what I'm thinking. And he comes back and I'm like, dude, yeah, that's perfect. Like, I would not have thought of this stuff because sometimes
Yeah,
when you're,
and he got screwed by YouTube. Like
Yeah.
it was a whole thing. And you know what? Everybody give some love to Fat Steven. I put his link in the chat right now. So make sure you're giving him some love. And let me really quickly put Valiant Online as well. Valiant
Renegade Online, you got the link.
Online.
It's just Renegade Online.
Oh,
It's
just Renegade Online. Okay.
Yeah, it's Valiant
there it is.
Renegade
I
is
just
the main
went to your
channel,
channel
Renegade.
and then it was there. So
I have the link on the main channel page. So
Yeah.
So I think I
And-
need maybe another 1,500 watch hours at this point. So we'll get that in the next week or two.
And then there's Renegade Online. So everybody, it's in the description too, but please everybody subscribe. So thank you, Valiant, for being here. I'm going to stick around a little bit more because I got a couple more things to talk about. So you go on and I will see you next time, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We'll do this again.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
All right.
You're welcome back.
Take care.
Bye. So yeah, that was great. Valiant Renegade, everybody. Yay. Thank you for being here, Valiant. And I just had a few more things I wanted to talk about. So it's going to be solo stream for a little bit more because I had some more topics. I don't know if I'm going to go back to that giant article about Rockefeller Institute and the criminal polio fraud, but that was a crazy article. So again, I highly recommend you guys read that on your own time. Let me X out some of these tabs that I had open. But I mean, we really got to talk about a couple of things though, like politics wise, because dude, stuff has been going down. And it's like clown world stuff. Everybody's giving love to Valiant. Good conversation. It really was. Valiant was great. I really appreciate everybody giving Valiant some love. Thank you guys. But yeah, so things have been going on, and I've just been kind of like, oh my God, what is happening right now? And some of it, the other day, I woke up it was literally Tuesday morning. I was getting up for Real BBC, and I turn on Twitter, turn on my phone, I turn on Twitter, and I look, and literally the first thing I see was Hunter Biden's junk all up in my face. And I was like, uncensored. I was just like, dude, what is going on? And it says Hunter Biden could face prostitution charges for transporting hookers across state lines and discussing disguising checks for them as payments for medical services. First son spent $30K in 5 months on the girlfriend experience. We're not see it already it says warning graphic content. I'm not even gonna scroll this because like I don't even want to show people this stuff. But it says that documents, texts, and videos obtained by dailymail.com show Hunter Biden spent staggering $30,000 on escorts in 5-month period. Hunter wrote Hunter wrote checks to Ukrainian women. Of course, they have to be Ukrainian, by the way. Like, side note. We all know he's doing business there. A Ukrainian woman named, whatever this is, who was named in red flag reports by banks for suspicious activity. Documents reveal a suspicious activity report SAR filed by JP Morgan and Chase flagged transactions involving Motiva after she received tens of thousands of dollars from Hunter's company. Photos from Hunter's iPhone show he wrote checks disguised as medical services to prostitutes supplied by Motiva, whose website offered a girlfriend experience. Videos and pictures show Hunter Biden helping transport these women from Boston to New York for a debauched night with him, a potential federal offense. Now, this is just like a portion of the stuff that's going on with Hunter Biden. And then there was like some numbers that came out from his phone. Apparently, he's listed his dad's number on his phone as Pedo Peter. There's all sorts of weird-ish going on with the Hunter Biden laptop. I don't know why this stuff is coming out now, like right before the midterms. But it's interesting. It's interesting to note. I think it's interesting that right before the election, they shut her down. Twitter shut down the New York Post originally when this Hunter Biden stuff came out. They shut down anybody who was talking about this stuff. And now here we are. Now imagine though, like replace this word here. Like, replace this with Donald Trump Jr. Just replace this, okay? What in the world would we be dealing with right now? Seriously. Like if that had read Donald Trump Jr. could face prostitution charges for transporting hookers across state line, what do you think would be the topic of conversation on every single news channel that exists? I mean, like, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of nuts. Leonard S. says, how can the corrupt media ignore the Hunter stuff? Any slip by Trump was magnified 1,000,000 times. Thank you, Leonard. Thank you. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Literally, if it was Hunter or if it was Donald Trump Jr. instead of Hunter Biden, it would be everywhere. It wouldn't even be a question. It wouldn't have even been a question. It's just mad. It's just madness to me that this is a deal. And then you know what else is more crazy? The craziest thing is, like, I see people like tweet about Hunter Biden, especially lefties, and then there's this stuff like, oh, like, it's not like Hunter Biden worked for the Biden administration. Like, they're all trying to be like, oh, this is like some sort of own. Like, you know, it's like it's some sort of own towards centrists or libertarians or anyone who's talking about this, that it's some sort of own that Hunter Biden, according to them, wasn't working for the White House or Biden. Yes, he fucking was. He literally was going around making deals in Ukraine and China. Like, literally, that was his job. So I don't understand why these lefties want to stick their heads like so far down in the sand to like not even admit that the guy was working for their government. Like he was working for the administration. He was working for his father. This is absolutely insane. I don't know where it's going to go. Does anyone expect anything to come of this though? That's the important thing, I think, is like, do people expect anything to come of this? I mean, I kind of don't. Like, I don't think anything's going to happen. Do you guys think like Hunter Biden's actually going to get, what did it say here? Videos and pictures show him doing this thing, a potential federal offense. Do you think that he's going to get federal charges on this shit? I don't. Does anyone think that there's going to be any consequences handed down? Because I really don't. But if you do, please let me know in the chat that you think differently, and let me know why. Because I mean, I just feel like nobody ever gets any consequences anymore, and it's kind of crazy. Prosecutors may have a case for federal prosecution against Hunter Biden, according to the documents and texts and videos that show he spent a staggering $30,000, blah, blah, blah. I mean, and she had to be Ukrainian. This is so crazy. And the content is just so gross. I mean, can you even like imagine? It's like, what is going on with this dude that constantly just wants to film himself banging hookers? It's like, what are you doing? Why are you leaving a fucking video trail of your disgusting habits? Commander S. Striker of Shadow, thank you so much for the $5. Says it was in medical services. It including prostate messages. Oh, by the way, if those hookers were underage, the Mann Act kicks in 10 and 20 year in minutes per kid. Ew! Oh my God, but you're right. Like, I don't even know how old these girls were, because I know, like, I've seen some of the other footage of him with much younger girls. Like, these ones are like look older, but there is ones of him that are with like very, very young looking girls. Here's a picture of again, I'm not going to scroll through this, but this is the picture of one of the checks from Robert Hunter Biden, page of the order of, that's the hooker's name. Oh my God. It's like, I mean, this is freaking ridiculously gross. I don't think Hunter's an angel. Well, so was the devil. I mean, he was the fallen angel, but he was an angel. So I guess that's kind of accurate, maybe. I don't know. Like father, like son. I mean, it's crazy, right? Like dude calls his own dad pedo Peter. I mean, I wonder what that's about. Like, why Peter? That's such a weird like thing, right? I mean, I feel like that's really strange. Speaking of pedo Peter, though, okay, so this happened today as well. And I was like, okay, let's talk about this. Because, okay, so this came up on my feed today. So this says RNC, this is from RNC Research, says, what's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again? Biden says, read the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same. Okay, so he gets really angry at this dude, and this is what he said. Hold on.
To Democrats who don't want you.
He got really mad. He got big mad.
Mr. President, what's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again?
They want me to run.
2/3 say they
Read
don't.
the polls. Read the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same. That poll showed that 92% of Democrats, if I ran, would vote for me.
A majority of Democrats say they don't want you to run again in 2024.
92% said if I did, they'd vote for me.
Mr. President, what's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again?
Okay, brah.
They want me to run.
2/3 say they
Read
don't.
the polls.
Read the poll, Jack.
You guys are all the same.
Read the
that
poll.
poll showed that 92% of Democrats, if I ran, would vote.
Read the poll, Jack. Read the poll, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no, no more, more. Leonard S. for 5 says, as long as the Dems control the Congress and White House, nothing will come from the federal government regarding either Brandon or Hunter. Or Peter. Brandon's Peter now. Wait, people are saying that. Thank you, Leonard, for that $5. And I agree with you completely. Completely. I agree with you. Wait, people are saying that Peter is that? I thought that was Richard. I thought that was Richard. Like, is that not the thing? Because I know Dick is AKA Richard. Like, Peter? I've never heard Peter be like a thing for Dick. Really? Maybe. I don't know. Oh my God. A Human says I was singing the same song. Aiken for $2.99 says nothing will happen. I agree. I don't think anything's going to happen. I mean, okay. If the Republicans can manage to win something in the midterms, maybe, if they can manage to pull it off. I mean, I don't know if they will, because I feel like, well, I'm not going to get my channel canceled, but let's just say, I'm not going to say it. You guys, it's so hard to be a YouTuber, you guys. You know what I'm talking about. If the Democrats don't do anything funny, do you think, I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's possible that things might change. I don't know then. Just reading the chat. Okay. All right. So here's another thing that happened today with Peter. I mean, Brandon. I mean, Joe Biden. This is another thing that happened. So this dude uploaded this video and said, upon arriving in Israel, Biden to a female service member, I'm not going with you. He asks. Joe Biden starts his trip with some sexual harassment. Okay. Now here's the thing. I don't usually not think that Biden is sexually harassing people because he does that all the time. But I don't know if this is a case of such a thing. So here's the video, and you can barely hear it, but he does say that to her. He says like, oh, you mean I'm not going with you? I don't know. Like, it's very hard to hear, but if you can hear it, that is what he says. So that's like, he said it like around here, like right here. I was like, oh, you know, going with you. You can barely hear it though. But then he is like, you know, kind of like escorted away by all these people. God, I can't stand that plane sound. But then he's like, kind of like, you know, just like, let's go, Mr. President, like this way. And I just feel like this is one of those cases where he's clearly like just experiencing dementia again. And I feel like he's just literally being like, oh, am I not going with you? Because he doesn't know where he is or what the hell's going on half the time. Yeah, I can hear it. Like if you hear the video, he does say that. Like if you hear it, like when you're listening to it through your own headphones, it's really hard. It's not going to come through the stream. But if you hear it through the video, he does say what this guy says. This is like, I'm not going with you. He does say that. And I'm like, I don't feel like that was a sexual harassment thing. I think he's just lost. I think he's just, you know, I think this is just like the elder abuse administration at this point. I really do. I think he's constantly lost. He doesn't know where he's going. Oh my God. Did you guys see that video of him where he couldn't clap? Oh my God. That was so fucking sad. I was like, hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can pull this up. It was so crazy. He was like with a bunch of people, and like he couldn't figure it out. Okay, here it is. I don't know if this guy. Okay, okay, I got it. Oh my God, this video was so weird. I was like, this dude is like, he's gone. Like, I don't understand why he is still like, well, I mean, I do understand it, because they really wanted a puppet. I feel like he is a puppet. This dude is like a marionette. Like, he's literally being controlled. They wanted that as their president.
Okay, Mr. President, get ready to clap. Not now.
Like, that was so sad. And he's just like, he just
Mr.
kind of
President,
like,
get ready to clap.
like, I mean, this guy's kind of talking
Get ready to
over
clap.
it, but he's like he thought that people were going to clap. They didn't.
Clap. Not now.
And then they started, and he's like, clapping. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know what to say about any of this. I feel like this is so cringe, man. Like, just let the dude go retire. Just put him out to pasture. Disney sheepherder, thank you for the $10, says the left continues Hunter and their racism under the guise of virtue signaling. No chance he is ever changed. I think he's been charged, but I get what you're saying. I know. I heard that thing about Jill Biden too. Like, there was like a whole drama with Jill Biden and how he was like, he just like he couldn't, Jill Biden compared like Latinos to like a burrito or something like that. I was like, what? Like, it was like the most inappropriate thing that you could ever say. It's like super racist. And people are like calling them out for it. It was so weird. Like, it's so weird that clapping video. I was just like, what the fuck, man? Actually, that's where I saw the Russell Brand video the clapping video was a Russell Brand video. Yeah, it's funny, but it's really freaking sad at the same time. Man, Russell Brand has been killing it recently. Leonard S., thank you so much for the $5. Says Brandon also misread his notes in Israel and said the honor of the Holocaust. Oh, whoa, that is bad. He caught himself a couple of seconds later and said the horror. Oh no, do we have video of this? Is there a video? Can we see it? Let's see. Oh no. Let's see. Biden gaffe. Let's see. The heck? I got some weird thing from Google. Says it looks like these results are changing quickly. If this topic is new, it can sometimes take time for reliable sources to publish information. What is this? I've never even seen this fucking warning before. That's a weird warning. Oh God. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Fox News has it covered, of course. Let's see if they have a video of it though. I want to see the video. Okay, hold on. Okay, I got it. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Ugh, God, I hate Fox's entire website design. Whoever designed Fox's website needs to go back to freaking website school or whatever. Like, your website is seriously shit. Like, it's your Fox News. Like, fucking step up your game. Okay, here it is. Look at this. Now it's like all like not loading properly. Your website is shit, Fox News.
Later today,
Okay, here we go.
I will once more return to the hollow ground of Yad Vashem to honor 6 million Jewish lives were stolen in the genocide and continue, which we must do every day, continue to bear witness. To keep alive the truth and honor of the Holocaust, horror of the Holocaust, honor those we lost so that we never, ever forget that lesson.
Oh, no. He did say it. I heard it. Oof. Oof. Oh, my God. It's just, there's so many. There's so many. It's just constantly, like, just one thing after another. Thanks for letting me know about that, Leonard. I'd not heard that one. Oh, my God. There's just so many. It's like a constant thing. Here is another, somebody's made another compilation video. Hold on. Okay. This was funny. Well, it's not funny because it's actually the freaking president of the United States saying this stuff, but it's funny for me because, you know, I'm looking at it from the outside. Guard the pussy. Is that you, Russell Hall? For $2 says boomers don't do internet stuff, so Fox doesn't care. That's true. That's a good point. Okay, hold on. Because I saw this compilation video and I was like, what? I mean, okay,
Ask the right question.
oh, wait. Oops. I totally
Ask the right
forgot.
question. What a stupid son of a bitch. Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie? What do you say?
Wait, did he just say, are you a junkie? Oh my God. We need someone to take this clip, just this alone, and put like Hunter Biden's freaking entire like life on this.
What a stupid son of a bitch. Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie? What do you say? Go back and read what I said. Wait. You're getting nervous, man. That is an interesting reading of English. I assume you got in the journals because you like to write. I want to talk about happy things, man. What the hell? What do you do all the time?
Wait. Oh my God. I want to talk about happy things, man. I mean, I kind of feel like I should cut that one clip out where he's like, I want to talk about happy things, man, and like add it to my Infinite Hope roster. But then again, everyone hates Biden. So I don't know if people would want to see that.
What the hell? What do you do all the time? So when did I say I was confident? I said what I said was, let's get it straight.
I think I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect.
Well, that's not true. You're saying things you do not know what you're talking about. No one said that. Who said that?
What,
Who said that? I know you'd asked it. I have no response. Another smear campaign. Right up your alley. Those are questions you all had. You don't understand that you're in your own business.
Can I ask you a quick question on Israel before you try to
No, you can't. Not unless you get in front of the car as I step on it.
Wait, didn't he like try to run over like a reporter when he said that? Like, I feel like there was more to this one. I remember he like almost ran over someone.
You get in front of the car as I step on it. She's going to ask an obnoxious question. Don't screw around with me. Let's get it straight. No, let me listen to me. I'm listening. Why are you the other guy that always asks that question? Don't poke that in my face, okay, buddy? Don't you would ask that. You're a good man. You're a good man.
Thank you guys. This is all the time we have.
Oh my God. He's class. Your son is classy. Your entire administration is classy. You are fucked, sir. Guard the pussy. Thank you so much for the $2. Says Biden is number one lolcow. He is. It's true. It's true. Like, dude, this was terrible. Terrible. Okay, hold on. Wait, do we have any more Biden gaffes? Because that was kind of funny. Okay, hold on. No, I don't see anything. Oh, okay. Something else funny did happen. Okay, here we go. This was funny. I was like, wait, what? Okay, AOC. Did you guys hear what happened to AOC? Hold on. Okay. Oh my God, there's updates on this. Okay, hold on. Oh God. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay. So this happened today. Oh, there's porn bots in the chat. Hi, porn bots. Why do they show up when we're talking about Biden? It's because of Hunter Biden, isn't it? All the porn bots want to talk about Biden. Oh, Lord. Okay. So AOC today, I go on right before I'm about to start this show, actually. It was crazy. So I see the quartering commenting on AOC's tweet saying, I posted a deeply disgusting incident that wait, should I do it in like the Valley Girl accent? Because that's what she does. And she like widens her eyes and like her eyes, she's got that fishbowl eyes. She's like this. God, I can't even do it. But she's like, I posted about a deeply disgusting incident that happened today on Capitol steps. Okay, no. Too Valley Girl, too Valley. She's more like, oh my God, I posted a deeply disgusting incident that happened today on Capitol steps, but took it down because it's clearly someone seeking extremist fame. It's just a bummer to work in an institution that openly allowed this, but talking about it only invites more. Just really sad. Oh my God, I can't stand it. That's funny. So then I was like, oh, I wonder who harassed her. Like that's weird. That's a weird thing to say. And then she like followed it up with this because, and I'm not going to play this yet, but because everybody, although there's Alex Stein himself, because everybody was like, here is the fucking like screenshot of what you fucking posted, because nothing is deleted off the internet, lady. I mean, you should know that. Says this guy followed me up to Capitol Hill saying, look at your juicy ass, you Latina, you what? You something Latina slut, what? Latina slut? I don't know. You slut Latina or whatever, and a bunch of other disgusting garbage in front of an officer who let him continue. So I'm just going to share his photo here since there's no other protection, ladies, and anyone avoid this guy, and then posted his picture. And I guess it was Alex Stein, because I didn't know about this at first. And then the quartering posted something saying, didn't you like pose for selfies with him or something? And then Alex Stein is like, is this what you tweeted? Oh, there's Brittany Venti. AOC is from the Bronx acting like she's never been catcalled before. Ha, that's funny. There's the quartering. You literally posted a selfie with him. Did you break down and cry before after that? Like, dude, there she is at this fucking. So then she posts this because everybody was like, here's the fucking tweet you posted. Here's the screenshots. So then she's like, here's a video posted at the incident. I was actually walking over to deck him because if no one will protect us, then I'll do it myself. But I needed to catch a vote more than a case today. Bitch, that's called assault. Let's see.
My favorite big booty Latina. I love you, AOC. You're my favorite. She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. You look very beautiful in that dress. You look very sexy. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
I want to do a little selfie.
I love it. My favorite, AOC. Nice to meet you, AOC.
Oh
Look
my
how
God.
sexy she looks in that
She
dress.
did not look like she was
Beautiful.
mad about that.
Love it. My favorite, AOC on that
She
dress.
did not look like she was mad at that. She looked like she was all about that compliment. Yeah, that's my booty. He's complimenting me. Hey, like she like stopped and she's like, yeah, let me take a photo with you. Fuck these people, man. Fuck these people.
She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. You look very beautiful in that dress. You look very sexy. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina. I love it. My favorite, AOC. Nice to meet you, AOC. Look how sexy she looks in that dress.
She could have told him off.
Woo, I love it, AOC. Hot.
If she was like into actually like telling him off, she could have told him off. She could have been like, you know what? Go fuck yourself, buddy. You know? Like she didn't have to deck him out or anything, but she could have called him out for like, if she really cared that she was being called a big booty Latina, she'd been like, you know what, buddy? Why don't you go fuck yourself? You know, or something. Not, oh, let me take a fucking selfie with you. Here's the peace sign. That's not what you do when you're pissed off at someone catcalling you. I can tell you that right now. Because I've been catcalled before. Believe it or not. I have a nice booty. I have nice boobies. And I've been catcalled. And if you're annoyed about it, there's two things you do. One, you keep walking and you completely ignore, like as if they don't even exist. Or two, you tell them to fuck right off. That's the usual two reactions. Not like, oh my God, like, hey. No. Bitch, please. You liked it. Valiant Renegade for $10 says, had a blast. Thanks for having me on. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. And thank you for the $10. You really didn't have to donate to this fund tonight. But thank you for doing it. Nonetheless, I really appreciate that. It is Alex Stein. It is Alex Stein. And he trolled her. People are meowing now in the chat. Okay. Meow meow. That's true. 200 Watt Studios always cat calls me. Speaking of cats, I literally have a piece of cat hair or something like on my nose. It's like a white cat hair. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, there it is. I finally got it. I don't know if you can see it. See that? Can you even see that? Oh my God, it was bugging me for so long. This is what happens when you have cats. Literally cat hair in my throat, in my nose, in my mouth. Freaking all sorts of places. But yeah, so like she got destroyed in the comments though. It was hilarious. That's why she posted this. But I feel like this is a complete L. Because it's literally the opposite of what she's saying. Here's a video he posted of the incident. I was having to walk over to deck him. Yeah, right. Lady, you don't look mad. I mean, I can't really tell by this freaking mask on her face, but I bet you she's got a giant smile from ear to ear. What a retard. I mean, just people. These people are just constantly lying. Constantly lying. I mean, when I did see this face, though, I laughed like so hard. I was like, I cannot believe Alex Stein trolled AOC like that. That's hilarious. I want to try and get Alex Stein on here. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Maybe I'll talk to Chrissy and see if I can make it happen. I'm just here for the ratio. God, these people are just such liars. The Duckson 1977 says, Nina, when you were single, did you like catcalling and after marriage? I did like it when I was younger. I liked it. You know, it's weird. It depends on the day and the person, I guess, because sometimes like a lot of times I did like it, especially when I was younger and I was single. Yes, I did enjoy it because, you know, it makes you feel pretty. You're like, hey, hi. But it also depends on like who it is and how creepy they're being with the cat call. Like, you know, like you get the like, hey baby, what's up? Like blah blah blah. Like, you know, you're smoking hot and like blah blah blah. Like, you know, you get like the honk horn and the like, you know, like those things are totally fine. Like they're harmless. Like it's like whatever. It's like, you know, I've been like a honked at and the, you know, and I'm just like, hey, and like the guy's like driving away or whatever. Like those are fine. Like it's just all in good fun, whatever. But like if they're being creepy or like they touch you, that's a different story. Or like they flash you or all sorts of stuff. Like if somebody catcalls, like, and it's happened to me before where I've been catcalled and somebody like spanked my ass and stuff. Like, no, 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 no. Okay. You don't do that. You don't do that. So yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't hate it when I was younger. And when I was after marriage, it's happened a lot less. I feel like, interestingly enough, when I moved here to Cancun, I expected to be catcalled a lot more than I do, that I have been actually. Like, you know, to be fair, I go to a lot of places with my husband, and my husband is very like he's very manly, so he's not a threat. Like he doesn't look like somebody you want to fuck with. Let's just say that. Although my husband gets mistaken all the time, and I mean all the time, by the guy from System of a Down. Like, I mean, it's like I'm not even joking. People think he's a celebrity all the time. Like the main guy from System of a Down. He literally could be my husband's like twin brother. So a lot of times, like people think he's a celebrity, and they're like, "Oh my god, are you Serge?" And he's like, "No." I'm starting to tell him that he should tell people he's Serge because I think it's just funny. But yeah, he looks like they could be twin brothers. Like they could be brothers for sure. I'm not even like I didn't even know who this dude was, and then somebody was like, "It's the main singer from System of a Down," and I was like, "Oh my god, they could be brothers. That's true." Literally, that's what my husband looks like. But yeah, so here's the dude. Hold on, let me pull up a more recent picture here. This is Serge. There you go. There he is. They could be brothers. It's funny. It's funny to me. But yeah, it's but then so he like so when I go out, he doesn't like I don't get catcalled a lot, but it's also I think because it's because I look Latina. So they don't catcall me as much because they think I'm Latina, like they think I'm Mexican. Because one time I went to the beach with my friend and she was a gringa. Like she was like complete like white girl. She's this white girl from the States, really nice girl. And I went to the beach with her, and she was, oh my God, I can't even explain to you guys the amount of cat calls that she got. It was like a horde of Mexican guys were like following us from like one point of the beach because we were just going to the bathroom. Like, so we're at the beach and we're going to the bathroom, which was like literally like a 5-minute walk. And these guys were like following us from the moment that we left our towel to the bathroom, from the moment that we came out of the bathroom to our towel. Were like following us and just catcalling her. Like, and it wasn't even me, it was mostly her. And they were like obsessed with her because she was like white and blonde. And I was like, oh my God, I've never experienced anything like that here before. And she was like, oh my God, like this is the story of my life. And this girl had stories. Like she got flashed by this one Mexican dude like twice. She had to move because he was like stalking her house. It was like a whole fucking thing. So like I kind of feel for women that do get like that kind of experience because I think that can be like really weird and odd. But me personally, my experience has been what I just shared with you. There you go. Leonard S for $5 says the J6 Zombie Show had a clip of Salty Cracker yesterday. Tim Pool and Alex Jones also. Wait, what? The J6. Oh, January 6th. Oh, January 6th. I'm always like, what is that? Like a band name? The January 6th Zombie Show had a clip from Salty Cracker yesterday. Tim Pool and Alex Jones also. Wow. Wow. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Persians aren't Mexicans. No, we're not. Yeah, we kind of all look the same, don't we? I get mistaken for Jewish all the time because there's a big Jewish community here. So everyone's like, "Are you Jewish?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not actually." I have some really cool Jewish friends. Like we've gone partying together here too. XSL for $2 says, thanks for streaming today and fill up Wednesday night. Yeah, no problem. I do this every Wednesday night at 10 Eastern. Every Wednesday. Unless I'm deadly sick. That's what happened like 2 Wednesdays ago. And that's why I wasn't streaming. But otherwise, you can find me here. What is flashed? Says the grifter. Go ask your mom. Go ask your mom. TZ Burden says, you have bushy eyebrows too. Well, my eyebrows are a sign of health. I like big eyebrows because I think that it's a sign of health and beauty. Was my friend visiting Chrissy Bear? No, she was here. She lives here. There's a lot of expats here, you guys. A lot of American expats. Whoa, holy baloney. Here's JH. Oh my God, I'm going to butcher your name. And you gave me such a big super chat. JH Wallabala. Oh my God, I'm terrible. Thank you so much for the $49.57. Says, went to Tulum last year with the wife. Loved it. I love Tulum. Isn't it great? If we go back, can you show us around? We'll pay. Plus, really love you and Az. So great together. Are you coming to FNT meetup in Vegas in August? Okay, so I'm going to be completely honest with you. I probably will be really busy and I don't know if I can show you around. I will, however, I can try and help you with people who can show you around. And maybe we can go for a lunch or something, but I'm so busy. So I don't know, like it really all depends on the timing. It all really depends on what's going on at the time in my life. But yes, of course, I can hook you up with some great places. I can tell you about all the places that you can get to yourself. And like all the cool spots and stuff like that. And like we can go for lunch at one of the non-touristy places that I know that are freaking awesome. Am I coming to the FNT meetup in Vegas in August? No, unfortunately not, because I'm still a pure blood and I cannot travel to the United States. I wish I could, but I can't. And if I could, like, I personally would rather go to the Florida meetup because A, would be a less longer flight for me, and B, I can't stand Vegas. Like, I mean, Vegas is fun for like a day, but like, man, Vegas is just a bit much. Like, I don't know about Vegas. But if I could go to the States, I'd rather go to Florida. And just because also, like, I don't know what the hell's going on with Nevada. Like, I don't know. But I really do hope that someday they lift the stupid tourist tax mandate. But I mean, looking at the news today, I think they're going to come back. Like, if anything, it's going to be worse now moving forward because they're trying to, talk about having to wear masks again indoors. And They're trying to bring it back. They're trying to bring it all back. So I mean, if we let it happen, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. So I doubt they're going to lift it. I hope they do, but I doubt they will. But yeah, I'll definitely, like, I can't promise you that I'll do it myself, but I know people that show like are a great tour people. I know a lot of people in Cancun, and we can definitely make sure that you have a great trip. Thank you so much for the super chat. Very generous of you. I'm thinking about going to the UK, to be completely honest with you. Because I'm like, you know, if I have to go for a meetup or something, like I'm thinking maybe I'll have to go to the UK, because at least the UK is not, you know, wondering or like asking for Vax Pass still. So maybe that's where I have to go. Morty for $2 super sticker of, what is it? Let me check what kind of super sticker it is. It's a doggy going, it's number one. Number one. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. That's very sweet. Very sweet. I did the pop out thing with the chat. Nina and As a real life meetup do it. Like, yeah, I mean, I hope so. As would be pleased. Maybe. Maybe. Or he'll be like, God, this bitch. Like, get out of here. Maybe. It's so weird to me that people consider being Jewish a nationality. Well, what is it then? Is it a race? I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I don't even know anymore. I guess they're Semitics? I don't know. Everything is so complicated. I'm so like tired of everybody defining everyone through race and nationality. Just like, I'm just me. Can I just not be a Persian girl? Like, who cares? Like, who really cares about any of this? I mean, I know I don't. Okay. Here's the other thing I wanted to talk about, which turned out to be, I mean, it's still pretty freaking amazing. Oh, there's more sex bots in the chat. That's lovely. Okay. Here it is. Okay. Dutch farmers blockade highway, hold barbecue, police arrive, hand out cookies. Wow. That did not happen in the trucker convoy in Canada. The cops did not show up with cookies, that's for sure. After forming a convoy and blockading a highway, Dutch farmers protesting climate policies held a barbecue where even the police joined the festive spirit. The Dutch Farmer Rebellion continues to roll on, with our Rebel News team capturing scenes reminiscent of the Freedom Convoy protest that happened in Ottawa in the past winter. After interviewing some of the protesters' farmers last night in the town of Maroom, our team announced that their plans to stay in the country for at least a little while longer. I haven't checked out any of these videos.
Just wrapped up some interviews here in Maroom, and I hope I've pronounced that right because I'm terrible at trying to pronounce Dutch words. And people are still very concerned. Tensions are still high here in the Netherlands, and we've decided we're extending our stay here in the Netherlands to keep covering this farmer uprising. So remember, go to farmerrebellion.com. You can keep up to date with all of our reports there. Thank you to everyone who's donated so far and is supporting.
Okay, that was boring. Did you have like any footage from actually what's going on? No? Okay, that's super boring, buddy. Come on now. Step up your recording,
guys, so
rebel.
as you can,
okay, there we go.
Hey
Here
guys,
we go.
so as you can kind of see behind us,
actual
a ton of tractors are here.
Tractors.
So this is one group out of 4 total that are going to be meeting together and protesting this morning on the environmental policies on nitrogen emissions. So it should be another action-packed day. Let's see what happens. Lewis?
Woo!
Remember, farmerrebellion.com. It's extremely important you visit the website. Keep up to date with what is happening.
Good for them. Good for you. There's some more convoy of tractors. It's great. It's great stuff. Gotta love seeing this, man. You gotta love seeing the people stand up to the men and just actually do something about things. Good for you. Hong Kong. It's true, Hong Kong. That's great. That's good stuff. Oh, wait, that didn't work. That didn't work. Okay, fine then. Oh, look, they're honking. Honk, honk. Good for them. Standing up for this, for anything like this. This is amazing. No, this is all Dutch land. This is all the Netherlands. But I mean, they took a beat from the Canadian convoy, though, that's for sure. They're over it. They're over it. And the police are showing up and supporting them. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. So good for them. It's great. Ooh, this chick's kind of pretty.
All right, we have made it to the blockade, and they have decided to block an industry building because they are upset that the industry does not have to abide by the same rules as the farmers. I'm going to take you guys on a tour, talk to some people. Let's see where the day takes us.
It's nice to see like cute looking girls out and doing nice things. Pretty and smart. Ooh, Al Bundy's spicing it up, saying the police did shoot at a young farmer before that was a PR nightmare. That's why it is now. Ooh. Did that happen? Like, when did that happen? What happened? Did people get pissed? Was the guy dead? Did he live? I need more details about this. This chick was like, we're gonna go interview people, and then she interviewed no one. Okay, the farmers begin blocking the highway. Okay. Won't let me go. Dutch police arrive on the scenes and hand out cookies. So there we go. They're handing out cookies to the farmers. Oh. Wait, was she speaking in Dutch language?
Thank you.
Wil je wat kletsen met mij, hè?
American.
Oh, ook American.
American. I'm American. That girl was like, I don't speak Dutch. So that was that. Okay, we got a couple super chats here. We got Guard the Pussy for $2 says, you're not a Persian girl, you're an Iranian girl. Oh, okay. Thanks for telling me what I am. Like Persian is my nationality. I'm not an Iranian girl. If I was gonna describe myself like that, then I would be Canadian girl because I lived in Canada for way longer than I lived in Iran. But Persian is my nationality. All Iranians are Persians. They're not Iranians. So there you go. And then we had Shake from the Hunger Team, $5 says, "Hi Nina, there's this thing on YouTube that can make a special thanks super chat. So I'm taking this opportunity to say I enjoy your content." Aw, that's so nice. Wait, what? What's a special super chat? Is that a new thing? Oh my God, it is. Okay, see, like I'm looking at it. See, it doesn't show up all special on my StreamYard end, but I see it on the chat end. It's got like stars on it and stuff. Aw. Thank you so much for this super chat. That's super special, apparently. Thank you. It's my first time. Oh. That's so nice. Aiken says, "You get the stars." You do get the stars. Oh, look, Aiken sent one too. It's got stars. Brick Hardcastle says Nina just got deflowered. Oh boy.
Hey, phrasing!
My goodness. Wait. Not used to this panel.
Don't make it harder than it has to be.
I know I'm way too slow. Oh my God, you guys are funny. Thank you, Aiken and Shake from Hunger Team. Thank you guys for your special super chats. So yeah, the Dutch farmers are doing their thing. Good stuff. You love to see it. Aerial view. Ooh. Okay, we're gonna wait. Oops. No, I keep pressing the wrong button. Okay, wait, we gotta mute this though, just in case. Oh, we got another super chat from Brick Hardcastle for $1. Thank you for the $1. And also Grumpy Old Ninja, thank you so much for the 2. Says, "A special thanks from us all, Nina Infinity." Oh, you are so sweet, Grumpy. Thank you. And thank you for being an amazing mod. Thank you so much. Oh my God, the clown horn. Dude, if I ever got one of those, which I actually did get one, but I realized I got a soundboard, but then I tried to set it up and I realized I need a different mic for it. It's like a whole thing. If I ever did get the mic or for it and I started actually doing the stupid sound horn thing, I bet you I would mess up all the time, just like Gary. I'd be like, "Yes, clapping sound," and then it's like fucking clown horn or something. Bird Up, what's going on? I see you. Bird Up says, "Just to subscribe. Cheers." Hey, thanks, man. I know you from Toxic Femme Chat. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. The links are in the description down below. My Instagram is almost at 2K. It was like 1,999 or something. Let's see. Oh my God, I crossed over 2K now on my Insta. I got 2005. Yay. Yay. Wait, am I totally like just completely... Oh, I thought I was doxing myself, but I'm not. Yay, that's so sweet. Oh, Kaylee, she shared our stream on Instagram. That's so sweet, Kaylee. Thank you. I'm so bad at Instagramming. Like, I always forget that I have to like make a story or something to promote the streams. I always just do it on Twitter. I just realized that somebody went to my Instagram to tell me off about the fact that I watched Buffy but not Angel. People do the craziest things, especially on Insta. I feel like it's like people think they can tell me off on Insta all the time. I'm like, why? It's just so crazy. Jesus. Okay. Let me get this other thing that I was going to show you because I thought it was funny. This tweet was from Star Wars Holocron. Said, Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen have returned to Star Wars. Now it's Natalie Portman's turn. Who wants to tell them, you guys? Like, who wants to tell them that Natalie Portman, fucking Anakin Skywalker's mother, is fucking dead, and she ain't no Jedi. She ain't coming back as no fucking Force ghost because she was a human and she wasn't even Force sensitive. So what the fuck is this about? Like, what even is that? Did this person even watch the movies? Like, I don't even understand how you go and make a tweet like this. I just didn't even know. I just don't even know what to say anymore. Woo! Rip-a-verse! It's amazing. So crazy. These people are freaking nuts. All right. Last topic of the night. Just because we have to talk about this. We have to talk about this. Because what is this clown world show without some clown worldery? Mind you, this is from 2019. This article is from 2019, but still, I feel like it's still relevant to this day. Says women are warned not to put ice lollies in their vagina to cool off in hot weather. This is from the Mirror. So this is from the UK. I'm guessing that the UK women were warned not to, because, I mean, what the fuck is going on in the UK? As temperatures soar this week, experts urging women... What kind of expert is this? Are urging women not to try this one thing at home. You see, updated June 2020, but it's from August 2019 originally. The UK has been hit by scorching temperatures over the last few days, and it looks like the nice weather is going to continue over the next few days. And while there's plenty of good advice online on how to keep cool, there's one suggestion out there that you certainly shouldn't pay any attention to no matter how hot it gets. Some women might become so desperate for relief from the heat that they're actually considering inserting ice lollies into their vaginas, believing it will help. Who's doing this? Please, if there's any women in the chat right now, why? Especially women in the UK. What the fuck, yo? I don't understand. I don't understand. What's a vagina expert? Like, who's an expert here that's urging this? Like, what? But in case you were thinking about giving this a go, I'm not. An expert is keen to let you know what a bad idea this really is. I didn't need an expert to tell me. Oh no. What is this? Worrying women of number or wiping the wrong way? Oh my God. Who's wiping the wrong way? Good Lord. Doctors warn public not to use homemade sex toys during lockdown. Oh my God. Homemade? What, like the remote control? Okay, we might have to check this one out. Fucking clickbait. Speaking to Metro, Dr. Sarah Welsh, the co-founder of Hank's condom brand, warned women not to wait. Okay, so so she's a doctor, the co-founder of Hank's condom brand. Okay, so some fucking condom lady warned women not to put ice lollies anywhere near their genitals. By the way, they're called icicles. Like, what the fuck is ice lollies? She said the vagina is composed of a very delicate and sensitive skin, hence things that may seem innocent to other areas of the body, if they come in contact with the vagina, can cause infections, irritations, and damage. No shit, lady. Jesus. There are many things that should never go near a vagina, and ice lollies are up there. The ice can stick to the delicate skin of the vagina and cause real trauma and damage. I bet Amber Heard's tried it. Dr. Welsh continues to say that the sugar in the lolly could potentially disrupt the natural pH of the vagina, and if that didn't sound horrible enough, there's also the added concern that only lolly could break inside of you. Oh God. Can you imagine? That sounds awful. What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with these people? Like, who's doing this? Seriously. I really need to know what kind of person is doing this. I feel like that's ridiculous. Hold on. Let's see. Dr. Shira Detta, a consultant and a consultant gynecologist from my healthcare clinic, seconded the words of the caution that shared some advice for keeping cool in the heat without harming your genitals. My advice would be to avoid any foreign bodies in the vagina for risk of infection. I didn't have to go to gynecology school to know this, you guys. I didn't have to have a doctorate. Like, I just know these things. You know, don't stick weird shit in your vagina. That's it's kind of like a fucking logical thing. I would suggest loose cotton underwear and avoiding tight clothing to prevent any irritation and dermatitis developing. I think they mean developing, but they spelled developing wrong. A cool shower without any internal douching. What does that mean? And keep well hydrated should suffice. The fuck does that mean? This isn't the first bizarre warnings that experts have issued to women recently. In June, a nurse begged ladies not to try vacuum their periods. Ew! Oh. After 2 young women were hospitalized for doing just that. Oh my God! Ew! Ooh. Who's doing this? She claimed that women aged 19 and 23 had used the Hoover to try to suck up the blood and their periods early. Oh my God. That's so gross. The nurse warned of the possible dangers of doing this and now deleted tweets saying, why is it deleted? Your period has a steady flow of its own. that for all the intents and purposes your body can tolerate, a vacuum increases the flow over 1,000 times, which your body can't tolerate, therefore sending you into shock. Oh my God. Oh my God. Over the last few months, females have also been urged not to put garlic, parsley, bath bombs, and cucumbers inside their vaginas. Man, people in the UK are really fucking desperate, man. Have the people in the UK not heard of dildos? I'm so confused. The message is clear, ladies. Leave your vagina alone. Like, no shit. Like, is there no sex toys in the UK? Like, what is going on over there? Unreal. Unreal. What the fuck? Bird Up for 5 says they didn't catch the prequels because nothing exists to them prior to Disney crafting. I know, right? Or they didn't watch the prequels. I know, right? They didn't watch anything. I don't even think they've seen the original ones, like the OG. Shake from Hunger Team for 5 says, I know I've asked you this before, but is there any possibility that you could review Farscape? Maybe someday. Maybe someday. I don't know. I don't have the time right now, but maybe someday. I will never say never. Let's just say that. I did love Farscape, though. I did love it. It was so good. It was such a good show. It was such a good show. My review would be that it's fucking fantastic and everybody should watch it. Like, that's pretty much my review. But yeah, I could do a deep dive at some point. Those things take time, though. So, but yeah, I mean, I know you. I know you've asked, and maybe someday, especially if I find someone that wants to review it with me. Guard the Poozy for 2 says, admit it. Now you're a little curious about what? About what? What am I curious about? I don't know what I'm curious about. Guard the Pussy for another 2 says everything is a sax toy in the UK. Yeah, it is. It is. Apparently everything except sex toys are a fucking sex toy in the UK. Oh, he's saying I'm curious about the ice lollies. Nah, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I'm very concerned for women who are doing that or vacuuming themselves. Apparently, that's fucked up. Okay, let's see. When is this from? Yeah, this is also from 2020. My God, 2020 was a year, wasn't it, you guys? Doctors warned public not to use homemade sex toys during the lockdown. Online searches for homemade sex toys have surged across the UK over the last few months, but medical experts has urged people not to give them a go. What the fuck? What the fucking hell, man? What is happening to this world? Oh, I don't even know if I want to read this, to be completely honest with you. Oh my God. I also had to make sure that there's like no freaking images that will get my freaking YouTube channel banned. Oh boy. I just don't even know what to say anymore. I'm left without speech. I have left without speech. What show are we reviewing this Sunday? That's a good question. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think maybe Orville season 1 and 2. Because we want to review 3, but we have to review 1 and 2 first. And 3 is still going. So we figured we would do 1 and 2 as a separate stream and then do 3. And then maybe one of these days we'll do Farscape. If any one of the group has seen it. I don't think any one of those groups have seen it, though. I have to tell them to watch it. But Farscape is a long series. It's a long undertaking. So, I don't know. I have to figure that out. I'm not sure yet. It's a possibility between the Orville, Umbrella Academy season 3, and what else? There's another show. It's called Old Man. Some people wanted me to watch. It's with Jeff Bridges, but that one's not ending either until in a couple weeks. I don't know. If you guys have suggestions, you can always at me on Twitter, especially for short series, like on Sundays that we can like all watch within like the week or whatever. It's just usually hectic to like, especially for the Sunday show, to get everybody to watch the show, like whatever it is, because some people like fall behind and like all this stuff. So it just takes a minute to like organize everyone and get everyone on the same page. But yeah, you guys always at me on Twitter. Wait, whoops, the chat jumped on me. Oh my God. John Campia for $50 says, I like Farscape. That's not actually John Campia, is it? There's no way. Wait, now I have to check. I don't think it is. There's no way John Campia is in my chat. There's no way. Oh my God, it is John Campia. Well, hello. That's interesting. Oh boy, you never expect certain people to show up in your streams. And hello, I like Farscape too. That's the first thing we've ever agreed on, John. Oh my goodness. Because we definitely don't agree on a lot of other stuff, like Star Wars. Or should I say Disney Star Wars? Because I'm sure you love the original as well. I'm a much more original kind of girl, personally. But I sure as hell don't like Disney Star Wars. Or any of the new Trek. I'm much more of a Trek person. OG Trek, baby. Right now, DS9. I have to watch The Old Man now, says Pulsar Echo. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it, but I will. Thank you, John Campia, for the $50. That was very unexpected. I'm going to leave this up for a minute because I feel like that's that's just really funny. Bird Up for 2 says, I picked a good day to subscribe to this channel. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And hey, maybe I'll do a review of Farscape with John Campia. Can you guys imagine? Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Alonzo says Umbrella Academy season 3 sucks. Well, season 2 really sucked. I really liked season 1, but season 2 was trash. Was trash. Curtis says the old man is excellent. Ooh, okay, Curtis. Now you've made me really interested. Vertical Horizon says the old man is great as well. Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to check this out. Commander Ed Striker of Shadow for $2 says John likes hot smart Persian YouTubers. Are you talking about John Talks? Or John Campia. Oh, John Campia. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I couldn't believe it for a second. I was like, what? I thought it was a fake account. That's funny. You know, you always hear, you never know who's watching your streams. And then things like that happen. What about Thor 4 for Sunday? Well, here's the thing. People have already heard me talk about Thor 4. Like, I already did a review on Toxic Femme. I did one for on the Real BBC. Like, people already know my thoughts on Thor. It sucked. It was terrible. So I don't know if I want to keep talking about it. Like, another week of talking about Thor. Why? Like, everybody hates it. I'd rather talk about things I've enjoyed or like weird stuff that like no one's talking about so that I can be like, hey, go check out this show, like Severance. Have you guys checked out Severance yet? We did a review on that on this channel. I highly recommend that show for a lot of people. I highly recommend Severance on Apple. It was a good show. It was a good show. Is Thor the greatest MCU movie of all time? Hey, everybody, like, I mean, not for me personally, but hey, whatever floats everybody's boat, I guess, you know, whatever floats your boat. For me, I think my favorite MCU movie of all time, I mean, other than Spider-Man No Way Home, because I freaking love Spider-Man. But I think for me, it's the first Captain America. I love Captain America. I love the first one. And I was so bummed that they never brought back the Red Skull. Like, because I think that the Red Skull, well, I mean, they brought him back, but the way that they brought him back, I was just like, no, like that whole fucking thing with the Avengers and how he's like the soul dude and whatever, like, fuck that shit. No, I meant like the real, like the Red Skull. Because like the Red Skull to me was like one of the most insane villains. And like the story of Captain America and the Red Skull and like how they're just like ultimate, like they're the ultimate enemies and are just constantly like always fighting. I love that story like so much, and they never brought him back, and I was so pissed. I mean, I love the Winter Soldier, don't get me wrong, but I was really hoping that he would come back, like either in the Winter Soldier or the one after. Like, I always like wished for like Captain America 3 or something where like the Red Skull somehow comes back, and then they have to like and the battle, the ultimate battle of Captain America and the Red Skull continue. Because I think that for me is one of the biggest. I mean, it's just so cool. It's just like Doctor Doom and Fantastic Four. It's like those enemies, like Magneto and the X-Men, you know? It's like one of those enemies that's like always there. It's like a constant, you know? And it wasn't a constant in the MCU. And I feel like they kind of failed at that. He's like one of my favorite villains of all time. He's like so creepy. He's like a fucking terrible person. Just straight up evil, you know? That's why they can't do it, is because they can't do evil anymore. Like, you know, like you can't really do like misunderstood Red Skull, you know? Like it's just not gonna happen. E. Clay says For All Mankind is pretty good on Apple Plus. Wait, which one is that one? For All Mankind? I've heard it sucked. Is that the one? Is that the let me see here, science fiction. Is that the one with wait, what is this one again? For All Mankind? What is this? Where have I seen this? Wait, hold the phone on this one. Hello. Joel Kinnaman is in this? I fucking love Joel Kinnaman. He's so hot. Why have I never heard of this show? Hold on. Is it over? Like, what is this show? No, it's not over yet. In an alternate version of 1969, the Soviet Union beats the United States to the moon, and the space race continues for decades with still partner challenges and goals. Oh, that's interesting. Sounds very interesting. It sounds really up my alley. It's got 3 seasons, though. See, that's another one that would take a minute. Like, we would have to plan it out. I mean, it sounds good. But we need another space race. Well, it was about to start. It kind of did, and then the war with the Ukraine started, and then everything ended. Because they were doing the Tom Cruise film, and Russia won that one. Because they were doing the Russia versus the United States to film the first movie ever made in the space station. I covered that on Infinite Hope. And that was interesting because it never that Russia won that one. They got theirs to space first. Tom Cruise didn't get that. And then they were doing this other space race where they were doing something else. I forget what it was. I think it was a telescope, or I forget what it was. But they were doing another race, and then the war with the Ukraine happened, and everything got canceled. Everything. So that one, that's out. But it was starting again, and then it just politics, man. Politics ruined everything. Politics ruin everything. Morty says, I don't want Dr. Doom in the MCU because they will mess him up. I know, because they can't do villains. They can't do villains. Shay from Hunger Team says, Winter Soldier is a superior MCU film. I mean, it's great. I like the first one the best to me. I just like the best. It's just my personal choice. It's not that it is or it isn't. It's just, I just love it. I just love the first Captain America. I just remember watching it and just being like, oh my God, and everything that was happening on the screen, just everything, every single thing. I was just hooked. I'm like, oh my God, it's my favorite story. Well, other than anything to do with Spider-Man, because I love Spider-Man. Right now, I don't want them to do Black Cat because I know that's coming because they did Morbius, and I know they're going to do the Black Cat soon. I'm just dreading it. I'm dreading their version of the Black Cat. I think they're going to butcher it. I think they're going to completely butcher it. And it's sad. It's sad that we just can't get like good movies anymore. I was talking to my husband the other day because he was just like, you know, like we were kind of reminiscing about good MCU movies, and he was like, do you remember when we used to be like, oh my god, I can't wait for the next one? And I was like, yeah, I remember going to the movies and being like just so stoked for the next one, and just being like, oh my god, like like holy shit. Like, and I remember the first Avengers came out and it was so good. I used to get so psyched. It would be a Black Hat Sony movie, but so was Morbius. It's kind of like this, it's kind of mixed. And Morbius was fucking terrible. Just because it's going to be a Sony movie doesn't mean it's going to be good. They don't do everything right. Sapology says, I'm tired of Marvel. Well, you know, that's understandable. I'm also tired. I think I'm like experiencing a little bit of superhero fatigue. Like, I'm just like kind of over superheroes in general. Like, it's like, oh my God, can we get like another story that's not superheroes? But you know, I don't know. It is what it is. Deranged Lunatic says The Boys season 3 was pretty damn good. Damn, that's not what Gary and Mahler said. They said it was fucking woke trash. But then again, I'm not watching it. Like I haven't watched season 1. I can't be bothered. You know what I'm waiting for though? Season 2 of the cartoon. What was that cartoon called? Oh God, that was a good cartoon. The one with the superheroes. The one that was Invincible. That was good. I would watch. I'm definitely looking forward to season 2 for that. When's that coming out? Let's look. Invincible season 2. I am interested in For All Mankind though. I gotta say, Invincible season 2. Let's see. When does that come out? It's on its way, but it seems like fans may have to wait a lot longer for the second season. Oh no. Predictions. There was always a hope that it could arrive the first half of 2022. But given the amount of time an animation can take, it's unlikely. It might be later before we treat it as blah, blah. Okay, so 2023. Damn, that's a while away. Okay, well, never mind then. Shake, thank you so much for the $5. Says, Nina, are you going to talk about DS9? I've seen 1 million times, and in my opinion, The Winter Soldier is best. I mean, I've talked about DS9 before. I've never really like done a full review on it. I don't know. I just love DS9. DS9 is great. I don't think I've seen it 1 million times. I've seen it a lot. Right now, I'm like kind of going through it again because when I got sick, my husband and I were like, let's watch something that we both agree on, that we love, and that we can, you know, not like, it's something that we both just love. So we started watching DS9 again. And there is there's quite a few episodes that I feel like I've forgotten now because it's been long enough. Because, you know, you just give yourself that space. Like, obviously, like, I know the full story, but there's like, you know, some episodes here and there where I'm like, oh yeah, this episode, I kind of totally forgot about it. That's why it's nice to rewatch things sometimes. But yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe when I'm finished rewatching the whole thing, maybe I'll do a stream and I'll just talk about DS9 for a bit. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. Okay. Well, it's been over 3.5 hours, 3 hours, 41 minutes. It's been a crazy evening. I can't believe John Campia came by, super chatted me $50. That was freaking crazy. Thank you, John Campia. And thank you, everybody else, everybody, all you guys who've super chatted tonight, everybody who's become a member, who gifted memberships, everybody who's out there just watching. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for commenting, talking about like just everything. Talking is important. Discussion is important. All of this stuff is important. So I really appreciate that you guys are here and hanging out with me. It was a great show. I also obviously thank you to Valiant Renegade for being here tonight and hanging out with me for the first 2 hours. I kind of missed hanging out with you guys like alone a little bit too, and just like talking to you and like spending some time with the chat and especially the nighttime chat, because I do this usually on Fridays where I'm talking about like the good news stuff, because I do the good news stream on Fridays. And I have that one-on-one, but that's a different crowd than this crowd, because this crowd is like the nighttime crowd and, the clown world crowd, because they like to talk about clown world stuff, which I understand. But I do balance out my show on Fridays for Infinite Hope, because that's very near and dear to me. I like hope. I like goodness. I like good things. I want this world to change and become good. So I have to put that good energy out there. Like, that's the whole point, right? So Curtis, I'm so, my thoughts and prayers go out to you, man. Just take care, focus on yourself, and hopefully you'll be better. Everybody, prayers to Curtis that his procedure is going to go well. We'll be here. We'll be here. And just our hearts go out to you. Kai says, I'm live in 15 minutes. So everybody go to Kai's channel. Kai's awesome. Let me put his link in the chat. There you go. Let me see. Kai MFS. He's a good guy. He talks about stuff that are interesting. And he just shoots the shit. He's a genuine guy. He's a writer. There's Kai MFS. And he's going to go live in 15 minutes. You guys can go hang out with him. And end of stream foot cam when? Never. Foot cam, you're right. And then here comes the porn bots again. Go away. Go away, porn bots. Be gone. But yeah, so you guys can come hang out with me again on Friday, 2:45 Eastern, if you want to hang out and talk about good news. If not, I'll see you Sunday. And we'll talk about some TV show that the group and I have figured out. Let me just double check and make sure that there's no member messages or anything like that. Just making sure. Yep, we're good. Okay, you guys, love all of you. You guys are fantastic. Elon Musk is nuts. I have to look into For All Mankind. I have so many tabs open still. And okay. I will catch you guys next time. Take care. Bye.